for organizing UCT Leopards Lair on behalf of UCT InvestSoc. So it's my pleasure to organize the competition this year for everyone. And firstly, welcome to everyone who has taken their time today to join us here. So I would like to start off by firstly thanking NWU for allowing us to use the UCT InvestSoc of UCT Leopards Lair, as well as all of the judges in the initial round who narrowed down 100 applicants to the 11 that we have here today. So Julie, Mikhail Samuelson, Laura Rosmarin, Alan Fox, Nile Naidu, Sheila Yabo, Lungela Kumedi, Nsando Kubeka, Gabriela Keeble, and Barry Panalo. But most importantly, thank you all to the applicants, all 100 applicants for the competition. Without it would have been entirely impossible for us to host. So UCT Shark Tank, as it originally was called, or now Leopards Lair, started with humble beginnings in 2019. This is the competition's third year of running and hopefully leading to a long, prosperous future for the competition in the next few years. At UCT Investment Society, we believe in students investing in themselves and honing their skills for transitioning from the university experience into the working world. We strive to give value to our members by providing an alternative education and connecting like-minded individuals to create a diverse network of connections from within. We are an organization, we're a network, but ultimately we are a collaboration of students for the students. Leopards Lair is a prime example of our beliefs, encouraging self-development and self-reliance for the future, teaching pitching skills, reinforcing confidence, as well as the potential for kickstarting your entrepreneurial journeys. The last two winners of the previous years, Shruti and Tofunmi, have both forged careers in entrepreneurship, pioneering their own futures, as I'm sure you guys, the startups, will. UCT Leopards Lair is not just another pitching competition. It's a competition that has been organized by the students, but it is for the students most of all. And this is aligned with our beliefs at UCT InvestSoc. For those of you who are unaware, I'm just going to briefly explain what Leopards Lair is. It's a pitching competition very similar to Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, where startups pitch their ideas to a panel in the hopes for investment. There's going to be 5 minutes for each startup, followed by about 10 minutes of questions per startup. So for this competition, we've got two separate streams with the same prize pool allocated to each. The first social innovation stream focuses on businesses that provide sustainability or sustainable community development, where the profits from themselves support the business and they're not reliant on grants for their funding. Then the other stream is going to be a pure profit stream, which is just a conventional business. Within each stream, there is ideation and post-ideation businesses, where ideation refers to ideas and thoughts of a business without any tangible steps taking place to put the business into motion. Both ideation streams have 20,000 Rand prizes allocated to each of them. Then there's post-ideation, which is any business that is not ideation. So it's taken steps beyond the phase of prototypes, and they could be even selling products already. Both post-ideation streams have about 100,000 Rand allocated to each of them. I'm going to be sharing profiles for each of the startups in the chat after their pitch, just so that you guys are able to see them and interact with them and can communicate, contact with them more if you desire. It's going to start with pitches from the innovation stream with distinctly Kwela, Brews, Mandla Money, Mandla Health, Africanize, and Strapp. This is going to be followed by a 5 to 7 minute break. Then the pure profit stream is going to pitch with Inclusive PV, Bodyweight Athleisure, Nong Autonomous Systems, Yalo Hemp, and Fleeker Finance. Then this is going to be followed by an award ceremony at the end for both sessions together. Lastly, we at InvestSoc would like to wish the contestants good luck for their pitches, and I'm going to be handing over to my colleague Mpho at UCT Entrepreneurs Society.
A very warm welcome and a very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you very much for joining us in this wonderful competition. To the participants, thank you very much for joining us in the pre-selection as well. It was very entertaining and thought-provoking to see some of the pitches that that you have the courage to present to our previous slate of judges. So thank you very much for participating in the competition. And to our top 11, our finalists, a very big congratulations to each and every one of you. We definitely wish you all the very best. My name is Mpho. I represent the UCT Entrepreneurs Society as their Chief Operations Officer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it seems as though while our social was being stolen, last night, because WhatsApp and Facebook and the Facebook Incorporated companies and social media platforms aren't working, it seems as though our technology was stolen this afternoon. So I'll let the post a little bit earlier. We do have a few technical difficulties, but we're trying to navigate around those. So yeah, before anybody steals the internet, let's just continue the program. As I said, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. I do have the privilege of introducing the sponsors for today. I actually had a presentation prepared, and I'll do my best to sort out these technical difficulties and share the presentation, a bit once we sort out the that we're navigating around. So we have taken a partnership with our sponsors in the sense that we develop the entrepreneurial ecosystem at UCT. And Akro Capital, as Simon actually said, approached both UCT InvestSoc and Society to collaborate for the pitching competition. Now, obviously, it was known as Shark Tank back then, as Simon said, and now it is Leopards Lair. So we thank the Northwestern University for allowing us the privilege of using the name for the competitions. Thank the varsity for that. So our sponsors for today appear on Akro Capital's website, and I'll introduce them and the prizes that they sponsored for the competition. First up, we have the Impumelelo Institute, which bridges the gap between potential and performance, and it endeavors to create sustainable holistic growth and development. Their sponsorship for the competition is a 10-week program for the startup that is going to be selected a bit later. Then we also have Pocket Advisor, and if you've been part of the Cape Town entrepreneurial ecosystem, I'm sure you've heard of this wonderful, amazing company. Pocket Advisor is an online platform equipping entrepreneurs individually or through enterprise development initiatives, incubators, or to enhance their practical and legal business knowledge. And their sponsorship for the competition was their 10-week success program. IDF is a specialist entrepreneurial financing institution with over 1.5 billion Rand assets under management. And their sponsorship for the competition was the sponsor the pitch training for the finalists. Our next sponsor, Contracts for Biz. And Contracts for Biz offers entrepreneurs access to an extensive suite of contracts created by top legal experts at affordable rates. And I'm sure you can understand that as an entrepreneur, there are so many contracts that you need to sign. So, with any assistance that you can get in that regard is definitely something that can go a very long way in the establishment of your company. And this sponsorship for the company subscription. The Bertha Business Center for Social Innovation and Entrepreneurship partnered with the SAB Foundation to create the Student Seed Fund. Their sponsorship for the competition was the 20,000 Rand prize. And then one of our main sponsors, the SAB Foundation, as I previously said, partnered with the Bertha Business Center to provide seed funding to social enterprise startups. And their sponsorship for the competition, 100. And then finally, we have ventures. And Mvelo, the meaning of the word Mvelo is a Zulu word meaning honor and character of the strongest kind. In this regard, Mvelo Ventures entrenches within their DNA the transformative qualities which are essential in unlocking the growth opportunities for our partners, for their partners and investees. And their sponsorship for the competition is the amazing 100,000 Rand prize. A very big thank you to all our sponsors, our partners, and our affiliates for joining the competition. We thoroughly do appreciate your endorsement, and we thoroughly do appreciate the confidence that you have vouched in us as the organizing committee comprising of InvestSoc, the Entrepreneurs Society, and of course, Akro Capital, the title sponsor. Now, ladies and gentlemen, again, I wish I had the presentation up to show you the amazing teams. In no particular order, the teams for this afternoon are Mandla Health, Yalo Hemp, Mandla Money, Strapp, Fleeker Finance, Distinctly, Africanize, Nong Autonomous Systems, Bodyweight Athleisure, Inclusive PV, and then of course, Kwela Brews. Now that we've introduced you to the sponsors, and we've also introduced you to our finalists, please allow me the prestigious honor of introducing our judges for this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Judge Precious Ndlalose. Judge Precious Ndlalose is a manager at IDF Capital. She's an experienced chartered accountant with a career spanning several years in the finance. She has experience in business strategy and reporting, operational and auditing and private company environments. Very warm welcome to Judge Precious Ndlalose. Allow me now to introduce Judge Anton Bowman. Judge Anton is a director at Mpho Capital Investment Partners, and he has led the legal department of ZTE Corporation, where he structured and implemented a BEE ownership transaction for the company. He also went on to become a partner at Transcend Capital, which is a boutique corporate finance advisory firm specializing in M&A and BEE-related transactions for large, listed South African and multinational corporates. A very warm welcome, Judge Anton. Allow me now to introduce Judge Janine Basel, who is the head of growth at Curio. In 2017, Judge Jason was named as one of the 200 leaders of tomorrow from a globally selected pool of innovators by the St. Gallen Symposium in Switzerland. In addition to his role at EduOne, Jason also co-founded Akro, a pioneering venture builder company that owns and operates a network of businesses on a mission to facilitate grassroots growth of true entrepreneurs and scalable startup businesses. A very warm welcome, Judge Jason. And then, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Judge Bridgit Evans, who is the Executive Director at the SAB Foundation. Judge Bridgit was the CEO of the Greater Good Group, which is a firm specializing in socio-economic development consulting in various African countries. She is also a psychology honors graduate from the University of Johannesburg, an MBA graduate from the UCT GSB, and an MBA graduate from the Indian School of Business. She continues her passion for socio-economic development in her role as Executive Director at the SAB Foundation. Now, we have one more judge to introduce, and unfortunately, she couldn't join us because of the time difference between ourselves here in South Africa and where the judge is based in the United States of America. But in terms of observing all protocol, allow me to introduce Judge Magda Wizecka. Judge Magda is a general partner at Bravos Investment Advisors, and she's the co-founder and CEO of Signia Limited, a financial services company, a very well-known financial services company in South Africa's financial sector. And she was named South African Richest Woman for 2019. In 2020, the magazine Forbes listed her among Africa's 50 most powerful women. In absentia, a very warm welcome to Judge Magda, and I hope later on she gets to watch the video and the recording of this session. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have our teams, we have our sponsors, we have our judges. Thank you very much for joining us in this wonderful afternoon. And like I said, some of the pictures that we saw during the pre-selection and of course making it through to the top 11 were some of the best we've seen in the competition so far. And it does indicate that the competition is growing very strong. But don't take my word for it. Let the pictures speak for themselves. Let the entrepreneurs speak for themselves. Like I said, on behalf of the title sponsor, UCT InvestSoc and UCT Entrepreneurs Society, we wish all the finalists very well for their companies and their ideas. Ladies and gentlemen, let the pitching begin.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Mpho. And as Tebogo Mabusela put in the chat, these things happen, brother. Just yesterday, the biggest social media company was down. So it doesn't happen just to us, it happens all over. And so no worries, you did great, thank you. Before I introduce the first one, I just want to say that the judges are each experts in various ways, showing diversity in gender, nationality, age, and expertise. More importantly, each of them have a genuine love for entrepreneurship and a genuine interest in seeing the students here succeed. All four judges, interestingly enough, have in some way or time been entrepreneurs themselves. And I think this is truly crucial in understanding the real world perspective of being an entrepreneur. Two of the judges are in the VC space. One's a serial entrepreneur, two are UCT alumni, and we've got an ecosystem enabler here as well. So I think it really shows incredible diversity, and I think it'll really be interesting to see where this goes. So I think with further ado, we have given the screen sharing to the startups. The first one we've got distinctly, this is under the social innovation stream ideation, of which there are two vying for 20,000 Rand. And that is...
We'll do this through platforms to design, create, and source bespoke products to meet their individual needs and wants across many areas. The root problem we are solving is that one size fits all simply doesn't cut it in a world of almost 8 billion personalities, shapes, sizes, and physiologies. Some people desire personalization for aesthetic expression, some for self-esteem, and some for genuine health reasons. The problem with customization, however, is that there are barriers. We often don't know what will suit our distinct needs. Then actually creating that is not always feasible. And even when custom solutions exist, it takes time and money to get these products from point A to B. Areas where personalization matters include clothing, nutrition, cosmetics, and our current focus, like I just said, nutrition. But why nutrition? Because in South Africa, the market is large. We have an existing relationship with a crucial custom nutrition supplier, and we feel like the aforementioned pains are also acute here. This is because many people require some form of dietary intervention that is distinct to them, but pain points in that process include the expert knowledge required to know your needs. Even if you know your needs, the ingredients you require are often decentralized and the number of options can be overwhelming. And then of course, it takes time and money to purchase these things and get them to your home and get them into your body. Our solution to this is an online platform that has three vital components. One, a questionnaire that asks typical dietitian questions and suggests a dietary intervention based off that, using the same algorithmic process that dietitians employ on a day-to-day basis. Two, a one-stop shop where people can create and edit the custom order, which comes in the form of a shake mixture with literally trillions of combinations. And three, a seamless shopping experience from checkout to delivery, subscription options included. Our algorithm, developed with the guidance of a dietitian, will take in inputs concerning the user's body type, physical conditions, and also their health objectives, and would recommend a set of ingredients based off that, also tailored to the recommended daily allowance for things like their weight, their age, their sex. Now, though the solution doesn't yet exist in South Africa, there is validation of the concept worldwide. In the US, the startups Routine and Care have raised over $85 million in funding and been valued at almost $250 million. In South Africa, the supplements and vitamins industry is valued at least 7 billion rand, with a 13.5% annual growth rate. Of all the segments we could target, we've identified the health conscious, typically female, upper LSM youth as our lowest hanging fruit. This is someone who is aware that she needs a dietary intervention and is more likely to adopt a digital solution, but is currently time-pressed and unaware of the means of sorting out her needs. Future segments could include the elderly who take a cocktail of pills on a daily basis, mothers of young children who are anxious about their kids' health, and more male bodybuilder types who have fitness goals that go beyond their basic nutritional requirements. Our solution is made feasible through a key partnership with South African supplier, Taylor Blend, who can accommodate highly custom nutrition orders, who stocks over 100 ingredients and who would handle all logistics and stock risk. Taylor Blend currently works with dietitians only and has very little interest in a BTC play, and we've even received a letter of intent from them to work with us on this project. As a result, our business model is as simple as this. For every month's straight supply sold, which would average at about 550 Rand, we take a 35% margin, which leaves us ample room for discounts, referral programs, and to cover our meager fixed costs, which at this stage in the project would just be things like software tools and hosting. Really, one sale a month would cover these. Our competition in this space includes most of the players in the highly fragmented supplements industry, but seeing as though all of these brands offer fairly generic products, we do see our custom one-stop shop solution as differentiated enough to carve out a niche. We can look abroad to validate this assumption too. The nutrition space is way more saturated and way more fragmented in the US, though Routine and Care have evidently thrived. But where to from here? Right now, we're testing a solution with friends and family where we are the algorithm and we manually place orders through Taylor Blend. In stage 2, we will develop a low-code MVP using tools like Webflow and Airtable with a simple rules-based algorithm. Here we will distribute through dietitians, clients, and possibly even through dietitians themselves as a referral scheme. Stage 3 would be the development of a web app with core functionality, possibly with Bubble and SQL as the stack. At this stage, we'd have a more complex algorithm and would distribute generally through social media marketing and through influencers, of which we know quite a few. And then in stage 4, we'd focus on incremental improvements driven by user demand. At this stage, we'd start investigating methods like a supervised learning approach. We'd hopefully have enough traction to grow the sales force. And we'd start exploring new segments, possibly the pill poppers or bodybuilders. And of course, at every stage of the way, we do think we'll be able to lean on the experience and the networks we've gained through working in high-growth startups to make this a success. And hopefully some sage advice from the likes of you too, our judges. So thank you for your time, and we look forward to your distinct feedback.
Can we ask questions?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
So I'm not sure which fragment I would fall into, which segment. I want to understand, take me through like a user journey. So I'm not quite clear on what the actual USP is here. So somebody, just take me through a person, somebody in your target market. What happens? How does it work?
Hi, Bridget. Okay,
Hi.
so assuming that we end up having a user that comes onto our platform, what they will first be confronted by is a questionnaire, and it's a typical style.
Sorry. Why would they come onto your platform? What is it that you are offering them?
Yeah, so I think that like many people at some point in their lives start realizing that they need to take control of their diet.
Okay.
They might have actually gone to somebody like a dietitian before who prescribed them certain vitamins or nutrients. Some people might just think, you know what, I want to be healthier, or I've realized I'm anemic, or this or that, or even I want to, become fitter and supplement my diet and stuff. So they start realizing that there's changes they can make, but they don't know what exact changes to make because the information is overwhelming. And then you start going to stores like Dischem where you talk to a person in the supplements area and they start giving you all these different names, ingredients, and things that you don't actually understand. You get people who get recommended, oh, you should take omega oils, or you should take zinc, all these things, right? So you start on this kind of really overwhelming journey that often results in people basically taking a whole cocktail of like vitamins each morning and a protein shake after gym. And then sometimes they also just don't actually get their daily basic like protein requirement stuff, or maybe they've gone vegetarian. So there are all these different people with all these different reasons for needing a dietary intervention. And we want to first, obviously we would, through different acquisition channels, try to make people more like solution aware that actually there's one place where you can firstly find out your needs through a really simple process that will then give you like a bunch of ingredients, and that's something you can do for free. So like literally online questionnaire, you get your needs. You're welcome to go off and then find all these like decentralized ways of solving that need. Or, right, we then offer the next step, which is essentially, instead of getting 3 different products from Dischem and then also getting this from somebody, you can literally get all these ingredients tailored to your recommended daily allowances for your kind of unique body type in one actual kind of shake formula, which you can then get a monthly supply of on subscription delivered to your doorstep with the exact breakdown you need.
And is it about is it about supplements? Because when you said nutrition, that implies food to me.
Yeah, it's got all the macronutrients like carbohydrates, protein, and everything. Okay. But on top of that, it's got all those essential kind of minerals and vitamins that people often get like pills and stuff for. It's got things like collagen, all sorts of amino acids. So it can be used for like fitness performance. It can be used for just basically meeting your daily recommended needs for different like nutrients. And then of course it can be used to treat to cover certain gaps that might happen because of like certain physical conditions you have. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, but it's a supplement though. It's not food.
So I don't think it's an entire like meal replacement that you would have every 3 times a day. It's not like soy, lentils, something like that. But I think that most people, when they go to a dietitian, the dietitian works out the gap between their current diet, because the person says, I have cereal in the morning, I have a sandwich for lunch, I have a cooked dinner. Nutritionists or dietitians will typically recommend like, you need to fill the gaps with this, this, and this, and this product. This is the idea of, 1, we help you basically get that exact same advice, and 2, we actually get you to get all that into one product. Yeah.
Okay. And are you aiming to own the products as well, or are you going to be like a aggregator of products?
So like we mentioned, that supplier tailor blend essentially stocks already over 100 ingredients that cover all these bases. And they work with a select few dietitians in Pretoria, where dietitians would actually say to their clients, like, we think you need this, and we can actually create you a custom shake that will do that for you. So it's already being used by dietitians. It's a proven process. They just don't think that the average person knows about it, and it hasn't reached the scale that the idea could. So we would literally be able to interface with Tailor Blend to give them this order for this person, and they would actually, then create that and ship it out and handle the logistics. So essentially like a consumer-facing, almost white-labeled solution off of Tailor Blend with a really good relationship with them. And also because they're deep into this kind of really regulated space, they automatically have systems that can flag when, let's say, a certain request has gone beyond like the kind of recommended allowances and stuff. So it's not like people can go and order like a dangerous cocktail of like different, fitness related supplements and stuff that's going to then result in some actual health issues.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Bridgit.
Hi guys, can I ask one quick question?
Please do.
The partnership with dietitians, why would a dietitian want to use yourself? Because you sound like you're doing quite similar function to what they would be doing.
So, hi, Precious. I don't believe that we would ever end up replacing a dietitian. It would rather be a supplementation to what their existing offering is. And so the dietitian would meet with somebody, take a look at their specific needs, and then perhaps say, okay, this is something you absolutely do need. However, if you want an end-to-end solution, please go and use Distinctly, and they'll be able to provide to you an all packaged product that will then be delivered to your door. And at the end of the process, once the suggestions come through, the user is able to add and edit what ends up in their shake. The way in which we would ensure that the dietitians would actually push our product towards their users is that we'll have an affiliate program where our 35%, we might chop that up and say, if we give you a promo code, your users might get 10% off, you would then get 10% as the dietitian, and then we would come up with 15%. And so our distribution network along all phases of the chain would end up having some value from being part of that. But ultimately, we'd never replace a dietitian. We'd just supplement their existing value offering.
Now, some people don't even use dietitians, and I think that we can try and make the kind of advice from a dietitian a bit more accessible through this kind of solution. But some people have, let's say, gone to a dietitian for years and not necessarily going to switch to like a online solution, especially in these early stages. So we think for those who already do maybe get their advice from a dietitian, now we simplify the next step and can basically provide an alternative revenue stream to dietitians by allowing them to partner with us.
Thank you so much for that, guys. I'm going to have to cut you off there because we have gone a little bit over, but that's okay. So I'm going to be introducing the next set of, or the next startup, since Janine is finding new Wi-Fi.
Sorry, Simon.
Yes.
Can the judges have like 1 minute in between each thing so we can score?
Yeah, you guys can. We're going to be like transitioning between startups while they.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your questions, Precious and Bridget. Thanks, Simon.
No, pleasure.
Very interesting, guys.
So I'm just going to introduce the next people. They're going to be the next people part of social innovation. The ideation section are Kwela Brews, who's going to be presented by Tumi. So could you please share your screen with us and be prepared to start.
Hi, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Perfect.
We'll wait like, we'll give the judges a little bit more time just to jot down their thoughts because it is a difficult process. Yeah. Cool. I think we are going to have to start now just so that we can stay on schedule to some extent. So after, for you guys, after you.
Okay. Can I start?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. What happened to the Black woman who could not be absorbed into domestic service in the cities at the end of the 19th century? The only alternative occupation that was easy to adjust to was beer brewing. This is a quote from the late Ellen Kuzwai, who was a South African activist, social worker, who later became a parliamentarian. In 1980, the domestic scale brewing of traditional African beer was the greatest single source of employment, particularly for single women in some African countries. Now, I'll share a little story, but I'll be vague enough to prevent anyone from getting arrested. I personally have an elderly family member who started selling her home brew in 1970 for economic independence. And people like her continue to exist today. The customarily nutritious traditional African beer is subjected to poor hygienic conditions in its production process. Moreover, different variations which are easier to brew have become popular but dangerous concoctions. The prominent solution to steer people away from dangerous concoctions has been the production of low-cost beers industrially. But as these concoctions continue to exist and grow, government recently passed a legislation restricting ingredients allowed for brewing traditional African beer. Today, I'm going to offer a solution which engages home brewers, enabling them to produce the traditionally wholesome beverage efficiently, safely, and legally. The solution is to sell a brewing machine which allows the brewer to produce their product in less time with less ingredients, prevent contamination, allowing them to achieve a more consistent product. Moreover, we sell and deliver monthly consumables according to the brewer's recipe. This machine and consumables will make the brewer's operation more efficient, and efficiency matters to them because greater efficiency means more profit. The market for home-brewed beers was valued at 4.3 billion rands in 2020, with an observed growth rate of 12.5%. The typical brewer is an African woman who lives in a rural area or township. She might be illiterate and mainly relies on her senses to brew. She manufactures at home and sells in her backyard. And her main challenge is to brew efficiently and safely while catering to the needs of her customer. Here is how Kwela Brews works. We sell the machine once off. We then install the machine and help the home brewer recreate their recipe. We then collect this data and prepare monthly ingredient packages to be delivered to the brewer. And this part is where we aim to make most of our money. Our competition includes producers of low-cost beers who aim to lure customers away from home-brewed products, producers of home brewing equipment who have not reached to low-income areas, producers of pre-mixed ingredients who sell generic mixtures and block the creativity of the brewer, and producers of beer flavorants who mainly produce hops-derived flavorants, and these are prohibited for the production of African traditional beer as per the new legislation. I aim to reach brewers of traditional African beer through local radio stations where they can engage with the concept in their own language, road shows so that they can interact with us and the product, and this will allow us to build trust, and to make community partnerships with organizations that are working towards cultivating healthier communities. I am Mpho. I consider myself an engineer without borders as I want to use my skills to help develop underserved communities. I also believe in human-centered design as collaboration with the end user is the best method to solve their problem. With the 20,000 Rand, I would dedicate 3 months to testing my assumptions as I develop prototypes and test with a small group of people who include my elderly family member and her fellow home brewers in her community. At the end of this, I aim to have a final design and prepare for market entry. I am seeking mentorship to guide me on this journey. I'm also seeking a co-founder with a business-related background. Finally, I need to clarify the legalities, as although government is aware of home brewers who sell their product, the new legislation is specifically for dangerous home brews. There is still a gray area, however, on how much home brewers are allowed to sell, are allowed to make and sell. Thank you for your time, and I welcome your questions.
I have a question. It's Bridgit here. I think one of the safety issues, as you mentioned, is hygiene, but isn't another safety issue the fact that there's little control over the fermentation process, and that can result in toxic alcohol?
Yeah, that's another issue that the brewing machine can work towards, controlling the fermentation process better. So the idea is that the brewing machine allows the brewer to do everything in just that one piece of equipment. And so we can create settings and control the conditions efficiently to prevent the over fermentation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the machine itself, can you explain to us what that is? Have you designed it?
No, I'm yet to design it. But the idea is that the machine includes all the process steps that are used in home brewing. And so these are quite easy to mimic. So first you start with your mixture of grains and water, and you allow those to sour, and then you add your yeast before you add your yeast, you first cook the mixture, and then you add your yeast and water, and then you allow it to ferment. And so another thing to allow the cleanliness is that the machine would easily clean itself to ensure that the environment in which the brew is made is free of toxins. And that's what would really help. Thanks, Bridgit.
And
Tumi,
to follow.
sorry, Anton, before you go, Anton, Tumi, oh, sorry, Simon. Tumi, didn't you say that you have tried this already yourself?
Yes, I have brewed myself. So I'm quite familiar with the process, and my elderly family member and many Black women who have come before me know the process very well. And so the key in the prototyping stage is to see exactly how they would want to interact with the machine, because they're used to doing everything with their hands. And that provides a lot of opportunity for contamination. And to be honest, it's so much work. I really just want a machine.
Okay, any other questions? Anton, do you have a question?
So two of the questions that I've noted down, you've already kind of alluded to. My first question would have been, are there any regulatory concerns? And you mentioned dangerous concoctions. So that's obviously something that you would have to be very clear about. But
yes,
my main question is really around what economics drive the local beer brewing. And you mentioned that it's done in a way that requires great efficiency. Can the people that currently do the home brewing, can they even afford your machine? Have you done some basic costing around it and compared it to the cost that is currently involved? Can you offer them greater efficiencies through your suggested product and process?
Okay, thank you for that question. So yeah, you spoke about the economics that drive this market, and the reason why many brewers move towards these dangerous concoctions is because it takes much less time to brew the dangerous concoction than the traditional recipe. And so with the machine, what we can offer is after they set the machine to operate automatically, it doesn't need them to engage with it for the beer to be made. And so we can decrease the brewing time to sort of match those of the dangerous concoctions for them to sell. And this is why efficiency is very important. When it comes to the costing, I'm still looking at how best to make this product low cost. And the main area is to look at the material for the equipment. So aluminium is the one that is the most low cost. But another thing that I'm looking at doing is bringing on a financing partner who will help them finance this machine. So these are things that I'm thinking of testing. If that doesn't work, then I could think about giving them the machine for free if they promise if they promise to buy the consumables for us for at least 12 months. And that would allow the machine to pay itself off essentially.
Thank you for that. Just Jason, over to you.
No, same question. So yeah, you've answered it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks to me. Thank you very much. So that actually concludes the section for ideation for social innovation. And now we go to social innovation with post-ideation. So you can see when we're talking about ideation and post-ideation that we truly mean ideation and post-ideation. So yeah, over to first in line. We actually were choosing only 3 for this, but 2 of the startups came in third spot in terms of marks from the previous judges. And so, we decided to actually include them. So this will be 4 being judged for 100,000. And the first one we're going to start off with is Mandla Money, and that is Titosa Chembezi. Titosa, if you can share your screen.
Can everybody see my screen?
Thank you, we can.
Is it full screen?
Yes, it's full screen. Thank you.
Okay, then I'll start. We're Mandla Money, and we're all about financial inclusion through low-tech digital products, infrastructure, and services. The problem we have identified is just on this continent alone, there's over 350 million people who are excluded from financial services. So high transaction costs, proximity to the nearest outlet or branch are just some of the drivers to lack of access. And what this environment creates is, for example, how loan sharks charge exorbitant fees to these users because there's no alternative, and then it keeps them in a loop of debt. Yes, because there's no alternative. So our solution is that we offer a blockchain-enabled digital wallet service for the unbanked, and this can be easily accessed through SMS or WhatsApp chatbot. So we do note that there are a few blockchain-enabled digital wallets existing, but they usually target the middle income to high net worth individuals using the mobile app. We're intentional about using SMS and a WhatsApp chatbot because, yes, we're intentional about using SMS and WhatsApp chatbot initially because phones like future phones like the one that you see on the right-hand side of the screen are common for this market segment, and they support apps like WhatsApp. So, for example, a spaza shop owner wouldn't have to download a Mandla Money app from the App Store and incur data charges and also the time taken to familiarize themselves with an app. But instead rather use a WhatsApp or just the SMS if their phone doesn't support WhatsApp. So because of a low overhead, and we're able to provide also low transaction fees and be able to help also with cross-border remittances as well. Now, because we're able to help them with a digital trail of financial transactions, this can lead to future financial products such as alternative lending and low-cost insurance. So our serviceable obtainable market is around 200,000 people, and we believe we can achieve this through actors that have access to many people. So for example, for a large-scale farm owner, they have access to farm workers, and you find majority of these are immigrants and that they send money back home. And the current options right now have high costs, and so we would be able to cut down on those costs. Another example is spaza shop owners, salons. They would be willing to accept digital payments because this will help them with the cost of the cost of security for keeping cash, and also will help them with bookkeeping as well. Where I currently actually do my hair in Cape Town is in Mulberry, and the salon owner is actually Congolese, and even the workers as well, and they only accept cash. Hence why we know that these salons are also part of our market segment. Our business model is twofold. The first one is transaction fee. So in our pilot run, we figured that the best model is a transaction fee, and over the next couple of months, we'll be assessing this, seeing whether 1% is enough to cover costs, if we need to increase or we can lower, or do a two-tiered approach of having subscription-based. And then we have line 2, which is like our golden, but this is further along the line where we're, because we're a service provider to the unbanked sector, and we specialize in this market segment, we're able to provide services to government, banks, and corporations that want to deal with this market segment. For example, the social grant scheme right now, it costs 56 Rand to get 350 Rand to a recipient. Whereas if they use our platform, it'll cost them about 8 Rand. Another example is the South African Reserve Bank is currently in its second pilot stage of a central bank digital currency. Now, for South Africa and for most countries that are doing a feasibility study of a CBDC, is how can you access the informal sector? And that's where we fit in. We provide the access to the informal sector. Yes, our roadmap, we are currently in the MVP stage. We've developed on Stellar and yet to develop on Ripple blockchain network. We've integrated the WhatsApp chatbot and we're just fixing that up as well. And we'd like to pilot in next year in Q1 and launch fully by mid next year. Our team consists of myself, the co-founder and CEO. I'm completing my master's in financial technology at the University of Cape Town, and I have my co-founder with me and CTO Julian Karenje, who is doing his PhD in economics on data privacy and blockchain at UCT as well. Yes.
Tutosa, thank you very much. That's obviously over time. Over to the judges. Bridgit has raised her hand. Over to you, Bridgit.
Hi, thank you so much. My question to you, what's not clear to me is this, are you proposing a place where people hold their money? Because initially you spoke about loan sharks. So that implies that, loan sharks obviously are lending people money. Is this something where you're going to lend money, or is it just for people, the unbanked, to hold their money somewhere? That's just not clear to me.
Okay, so my example on the loan sharks was just one of the reasons why, because they don't have financial access. One of the things is access to credit. And the only way they can get it is through loan sharks. And that's what makes them really vulnerable. So it's not necessarily that our product is just for credit. We just provide the platform for them to transact on, to send money, receive money, whether it's locally or cross-border. And then from the transactions that they generate on our platform, we can help them get to better, even more financial products. So alternative credit lending that I gave an example to is what a financial institution would want to see, for them to see the income level or the cash cycles of a sponsorship owner, for them to be able to assess if they will be eligible to access credit from a financial institution. So that's
try and shorten your answers, because we've got 3 other people wanting questions. Okay, so I don't know if you have answered Bridget's question or not.
Yes, it's answered. Thank you. It's answered. Thank you.
Okay. Jason, over to you.
That was a great presentation. I just wanted to ask you, you made a distinction between, not having or having an actual app for your platform versus interacting with your platform via WhatsApp and or SMS. How much of a big deal do you feel that those different sort of modes of access to your platform, like how much of a big deal is that? Like, why would people want to engage via SMS or WhatsApp as opposed to downloading an app?
So for one is the data charges that they would have to incur. And you'll find that the data packages for like social media apps that are just more affordable than buying general data to just use the internet. So then they could just easily access our service through WhatsApp and SMS instead of downloading a whole app and then trying to get familiar with it, because they're also not very technical savvy. So this kind of reduces the time as well. And then over time, as we grow users that may not necessarily just be from the informal sector, we can build an app for them for those particular services. Yeah.
Thank you. Over to Anton.
Well done. That was a wonderful presentation. I've got a question regarding the blockchain that you're on. You said you're on Stellar.
You're muted, Anton.
Sorry, Anton is muted.
Sorry.
Halfway through, just halfway through, yeah.
Sorry. So you mentioned that you're on Stellar and the Ripple blockchain. Are you on both concurrently? That's my first question. And then my second question is, your business model is B2C. How are you going to overcome like a trust issue? Have you thought about that? And my third question is, would you consider partnering with existing companies that offer remittance services or banks So that's my 3 questions.
I can take those. Julian here, the co-founder. So the first regarding the blockchain question. So yes, we are currently using Stellar and Ripple because they allow us to send money using a memo, so a custom ID to a user, and then we are the custodian for those funds. The third question about whether we would partner with existing businesses, I think that is certainly something that we'll be open to, because that would just help to, less work on our part, at least for the remittance side of it. I don't remember what your second question was. Could you just repeat that, please?
Following a B2C model and offering like blockchain solution for remittances, I think you'll have to overcome a certain element of skepticism or a trust element. Have you thought about how you address that?
Yes, so agreed. I think the trust is going to be a tricky one. But what we're hoping for is that the word of mouth would naturally, if we offer a reliable and steady service, that the word of mouth would help to build some credibility. So if you can quickly send value via SMS, then the next person will tell the next person and sort of spread that way. That's the idea. Just maybe you could just move over to the demo slides just to illustrate some of the SMS functionalities. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so, and I think there was a third question, but I'm concerned that we've gone over time. And I know Precious had a question as well. Precious, do you want, if it's, something simple, do you mind asking it now?
I'm fine. Jason asked, Anton asked the question.
Okay, thanks, Precious.
Janine,
yeah, sorry. Do you want the third question answered, Anton, or has she done that?
I'm happy. Thank you so much.
Okay, super. Thank you. Thanks very much, Titilsa. Thank you, Julian. So next we've got Mandla Health, in no way related or connected to Mandla Money.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
we've got Mark Mark Verheyen at the wheel there. Over to you, Mark.
Sure. I don't know if I should give the judges a minute or.
I think let's go ahead.
20 seconds.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
okay,
in the
20
meantime,
seconds. There we are. Wait, 20 seconds.
the rest of the audience can scan our QR code if they'd like to get to our website. But
okay, and just try and remember when your answers, try and keep them to the point as much as we can. I know it's difficult. Okay, Mark, over to you.
Great. So my name is Mark, and I'll be talking on behalf of Mandla Health. Oh, sorry, I'm having a presentation issue. Sorry. Just a second.
Yeah, all I can say is I can relate.
Sorry. Yeah.
I had an internet connection problem. Okay,
right.
Are you good?
Yes, sorry about that. All right.
No,
so,
good. Go ahead.
As I said, my name is Mark, and I'm speaking on behalf of Mandla Health. So we are a social enterprise, and we solve inefficiencies in doctor-patient interactions. And our vision is to be ubiquitous in South African healthcare. So I saw a patient about 3 weeks ago, and he pretty much summarized the problems that we solve. So he had been diagnosed with a life-threatening condition, diabetes, about 20 years ago. And despite living with this condition for 20 years, he didn't know that he should avoid sugar. He didn't know that exercise could reverse his condition. He didn't know whether he was overweight, and he didn't know what medication he was on. And he couldn't tell me how well he remembered to take them. Now, when I saw him, he was being worked up for a stroke due to his poorly managed diabetes. And I'm sorry to say, ladies and gentlemen, but there are so many patient X's out there. We see them on a daily basis. And quite frankly, it's a public health failure. So why do we have this problem? Well, we believe there are inherent language barriers between doctors and patients, particularly in South Africa. And there are also short consultation times, which all result in poor information transfer. And then furthermore, patients also lack access to monitoring and management tools. So our solution is the Mandla Health app. It has over 40 health promotion digital booklets, multiple trackable health goals, and a medication management tool. And all of this available in English, Xhosa, and Afrikaans. So we are primarily targeting the health conscious adult with a chronic condition and regular healthcare visits, and a need to track their health goals and medications. But in particular, we are focusing on South Africa's underserved communities. So this is our competition matrix. As you can see, many apps, health apps out there are quite good at providing health metric monitoring, but only private medical aid apps provide doctor and patient centric services. And then beyond that, most apps really neglect health education. They often don't have a medication adherence tool, and a lot of them aren't inclusive. And by inclusive, we mean that the barriers to entry or to access are still prevalent. And these barriers could be things like cost or language. So we were prioritizing stopping the hemorrhage that we were seeing in front of our eyes on a daily basis. So we don't have a strict business model, but we do believe we have some options. We believe we have a first mover advantage, and we are adamant that we'll be as free as possible for our users. And that also means removing any data costs. In the near future, we foresee a freemium subscription for both public and private health systems as a potential revenue, a source of revenue. And in the long term, we would like to provide data insights and consulting. So we are, our pilot process is on track, and we should be starting that by the end of the year. And from this, we'd like to gather some feedback and make any improvements. And then after that, we would like to launch our app. And with our launch, we would primarily like to take advantage of our extensive networks in the healthcare system. But Mandla Health also aims to be sticky. We are targeting chronic conditions, and so we want chronic use. So who's Mandla? So Dr. Nkanyiso Hadebe is the doctor, a specialist anesthesiologist on our team. And then we have 3 fifth-year medical students with a medical science honors background, namely Gila Chora, Usiavuya Fikamba, and myself, Mark. So far, we've developed an MVP app, both on iOS and Android, and we've engaged relative prospective partners or stakeholders. And soon we'll be involving the community through the Cliptime project in Soweto. And in the future, we'd like to develop a doctor backend and many other features that will revolutionize our health system. Our business needs are primarily funding so that we can grow our enterprise and our impact. But we're also very open to any support or partnerships with regards to business model development. And that's that from us. I think I have a bit more time. So if I could just quickly ask.
Your timing is done.
Okay. I was just going to ask.
But go ahead,
Yeah, if I could ask Gilad quickly to say hi and just say what you bring to the team, and then Sia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. I'm Gilad. I'm very interested in health technologies and the intersection between that and medicine.
And then can I ask Sia to quickly say a word?
Hi, everyone. I'm Sia, and I'm involved in the content creation, language, and communication aspect of the application.
And our final team member, Dr. Nkanyiso, he's busy in theatre, so I think he is listening in, but he won't be able to introduce himself. So thank you.
Nice to meet all of you. That's great. Thank you. So Precious is her first one, hands up. So over to you, Precious.
Hi, thanks guys for a good presentation. I have 2 questions. The one is, I was wondering what the demographic is for patient X in general, and whether the language offering is adequate to service that major demographic, considering language barrier was one of the problems. And then the second question, maybe I can just give you both questions and then you can address. The second question was with a freemium model, obviously revenues are then quite thin in that model. So what were you thinking with regards to data insights? Who are you targeting to provide those insights to? And what sort of model would you then use to generate revenues from that?
Yeah, so I think I'll answer the first and maybe the second question as well. So our patient X is generally a 50-plus-year-old living with a chronic condition, poorly informed. Often also from our experiences in the Western Cape, Afrikaans and Xhosa speaking, and so that's our primary target. And we feel that our communication and our language services are quite unique and do solve that. And then moving on to your second question, so the freemium subscription services was mainly an idea of almost setting ourselves up to become integral in any health system interaction that patients may have, and potentially leveraging that in the future. But when it comes to data and consulting, there's an ever-growing trend and need for health systems information management. And we see this in our peers that are maybe a couple of years ahead, like England or Taiwan. I think Brazil might also be on that path. But there's definitely a need to integrate healthcare and to have appropriate data-driven feedback to really get a turnaround time and make healthy decisions for our population. And bearing in mind that the NHI has been looming for quite a while, if that ever takes place, then we might be in a good position to provide services there.
Thank you, Jason.
Cool. That was a great, very super clear presentation. The one thing that I'm still a little bit missing on is, it sounds to me like there's a range of sort of somewhat key features in your offering. Is there one that you consider to be like the sort of standout feature, or like if there was one reason that I would ultimately download your app, like what would it be?
So, sorry, Sia, go ahead.
Cool. So going back to this question and the question about the demographic, if you look at our demographic, it's the health seeker, it's the patient with the positive health behavior. So now if someone wants to track their goals, want to set a goal and want to track their goals, that's a key goal, that's a key feature of the app. Also, if someone wants to actually add medication and continue with the medication as they link it to their goals, that's also a key feature of the medication of the app. And you link that to, say, a broader category of the app, which may be sexual and reproductive health. So those link together, but the main feature being the goal in itself.
I just want to add on to that. As you mentioned, we have the booklets, the health information booklets, and we have the goals, and we have the medication adherence. And throughout the app, these sections are quite integral with one another. So with your goals, if you're tracking your blood pressure, you'll be suggested to read X and Y book about blood pressure, about smoking, about like atherosclerosis or something like that, and it will allow you to add your medication, which is controlling your blood pressure, onto that goal. So they are all quite holistic and congruent with one another.
Anton?
Thanks. I really like the presentation. I think you really understand the problem and you offer a solution. But what I really battle to understand is how you ever want to monetize what you've built. You mentioned a freemium model. You mentioned possibly selling data. I think that's going to be possibly quite tricky to sell health data given POPI Act, etc. So maybe can you just elaborate a little bit more around how you intend to monetize this?
Sure. It's definitely one of our weaknesses and something we're very open to working on. And right now, we have just started with our minimum viable product to really get an impactful base group of users. And we have many features in the future, like a doctor end of the app or a hospital end of the app that should improve the whole patient-doctor-patient health system interaction and improve efficiencies in that regard. And through this, we envisage that we could provide some form of a subscription service to, say, your private hospital groups, or even with government, and ideally government, because that's where we have a large need for improved efficiencies. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it seems so. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Celeste has asked in the chat if we would consider transitioning to audio, as reading may be challenging. We have considered this. We really want to not only integrate more like media services, so videos and audio presentations to the app, but we also want to expand into many more languages, which is easily done on the back end, but we just don't have the resources to make these translations yet.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the questions, judges, and for the one from the audience.
Thank you.
Yeah, next up, we've got Africanize with Fresh and Songa. We actually know Fresh from being one of our co-working, co-workers at our co-working space. And lo and behold, he's a UCT student now. So nice to see them come around. Yeah. So Fresh, over to you, young man.
Okay. I think someone is still sharing their screen here. Share my screen.
I thought that was you, yeah.
No, that was not me. Okay. Just trying to find. Okay, just give me all the judges just.
Judges, can I have a thumbs up that you're ready for the next one, or thumbs up? Okay, cool. Okay, great. Just I don't know why I can't see Bridgit in mine, but I think go ahead, Fresh. This is you, right? Yeah.
This is definitely me.
We're at the top, Janine.
Hey guys. Okay. Hey everyone. My name is Songa, but you guys can call me Fresh. I work as the COO of Africanize. Africanize is a food content promotion and delivery service platform for small-scale kitchens, small food entrepreneurs, small-scale kitchens and restaurants. The mission of Africanize is to empower small-scale food entrepreneurs with exposure to customers and delivery support. The problem that we're trying to solve. The biggest problem is that current delivery platforms actually have a very small radius, between 5 to 7 kilometers delivery radius for their customer, for their vendors. This limits the amount of customers a vendor can get. Secondly, the current delivery platforms don't deliver to townships or even support township businesses on their platform. And the final problem that we're trying to solve is that the delivery platforms, the bar Uber Eats, do not offer support for cloud kitchens. These are kitchens that do not have storefront, food businesses that do not have storefront. Great. So here's the solution. Our solution is an inclusive platform for vendors where they can register as kitchens, whether it's storefront or not, and they can get delivery support, and customers can order their food from wherever they are in the city. Here is our team. That's clear from the left. That's me in the middle with the white t-shirt. That's Sipe and the Siba. We're a group of friends from a small town called Mthatha, and I think we've been friends about 20 years, and this is not our first time working together as a team. Great. So we built an MVP around 2020 to test an hypothesis. Are customers willing to pay more for a longer distance delivery, or are they not? right? Our growth path will tell you a lot about what our results are for that hypothesis. We made our first sale in August 2020. We made our 100th sale in October 2020. In January 2021, we saw a growth of 370%. This was mainly because we just onboarded two very popular kitchens in Cape Town, Marco's and Pito's. In April 2021, we made 800 sales, and year to date, since inception actually, we've made 1,040 orders. We've completed 1,040 orders and have made revenue of 240,000. Let's move. So here's how our platform works. You go to your browser and you download and you type in Africanize.co, Africanize.co. You land on the landing page and you select a kitchen, right? You select a kitchen, you select a dish, you proceed to check out, and we will get your delivery within an hour. We actually have, just to speak more on the platform, we actually have about 10 different categories on the platform, ranging from gourmet, South African traditional, Nigerian, Zimbabwean food, African food, wine and beverages, and many more other Indian food and even halal. Pretty cool. So what sets us apart from our competition? One, we focus on low tech, right? We do have WhatsApp communication. We communicate via SMSs, where when an order comes through, it actually does communicate to the vendor that an order has happened. This is to be more inclusive in terms of people that don't use smartphones, right? Secondly, we piggyback off our bigger competitors, which is kind of like, nice of us, that they already have existing delivery partners, and then which we use, and then we take our own delivery partners and put them on Uber Eats so that they can make money, right? Which is pretty cool. And thirdly, we compete on price, right? We are very fair when it comes to service fees, and we actually implement a very uniform markup on the products on the platform. Great. Our revenue model, we mark up on food. We charge the service fees to vendors, and then some of the brands on the platform we actually do own outright. And that's the end of the presentation. Any questions, guys?
Awesome, thank you, Fresh. Great. Do we have any questions? Judge Jason, over to you.
Cool, thanks, Fresh. I just want to ask a quick one. Does the fact that you will cater to deliveries that are far away, that you'll do deliveries that are far away, does that not like pump the price up drastically of any particular order? Like, to what extent is that a factor in the price?
It is. Thank you, Jason, for that question. It's actually a question we've been battling with, sort of like in the last. That's probably like the essence of our business. That are people really willing to pay more for food authentic food that they want? And I think we also had that question, because every time you start a business, you always have a question that you want to answer. And for us, we think that people are willing to pay more, and it does sort of sometimes pump up the price, and sometimes it does not. But what's important there for the delivery is that it allows the delivery person to actually earn a living wage, which is really great for us. Because on Uber Eats and Mr. Delivery, the max delivery fee you can get as a driver is about 20 Rand. On our platform, it starts at 25 Rand. So there's really an opportunity for the vendor, for the drivers to make a living wage out of working on our platform once we get to scale. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Bridgit, I think. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just trying to. Are you offering township food businesses the opportunity for a delivery service? I wasn't clear on that. Or is it only suburban, small entrepreneurial businesses?
Back and forth. Whether you are in the township, whether you are a customer wanting delivery from a business that's in town, or whether you are a township business wanting to get customers that are in suburban areas, we offer both.
And township to township?
Yes, correct. Okay. Yes, correct. Many of our customers, for example, we deal with orders that, for example, someone will order from Langa, and they live in Gugulethu. That service doesn't actually exist anyway in South Africa, and so we're doing that. Yes.
Okay, that's your USP. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Bridgit. That does shed a lot of light. Precious, over to you.
Precious.
Thank you, Kwela. I wanted to ask the revenue you showed. You said you've got 240,000 for 1,040 orders. That's almost 240.
It's 1,040 orders and 240,000 rand in revenue.
Yeah, so that's almost 240 rands per order that you get. Does that include the service fee, the markup, as well as what the driver is getting? Or is the service fee what the driver gets?
So the fees that the figure that I showed you is a gross figure. It's not a net figure. So you're looking at figures that include the driver fee and the markup, and the driver fee and the markup.
So what then is your net? Once you put you factor in the cost of traveling.
Okay, so the delivery fee will probably make up another 10%. So you take out away 10%, and then our markup will be maybe another 15%. So we're looking at about a net of 75% of that. And then from then we'll take another 5% from the vendor, and then we'll probably end up with a good 70%. So take 70% of that figure. That is what we give to vendors. That is what we will give to vendors.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much. Any other questions?
Thanks, Anton.
Just one question regarding, you mentioned you partner with your existing, not competitors, but essentially on the delivery side. That's what I gather, that you formed partnerships. How exactly does that work?
So for our MVP, we did decide not to invest in a very heavy asset base in terms of buying scooters and everything. So we did partner with couriers that already exist in the system. For example, in-driver couriers, Bolt couriers, and Uber couriers that are already existing in South Africa and in Cape Town. And then all we had to do from then on is match the prices, because that was the most difficult part of matching the pricing, so that we don't make a loss per order.
Okay, thank you. Thanks very much, Fresh.
I hope I answered your question, Anton.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Fresh.
Thank you so much.
Now we're going to the last one for the social innovation stream. And this is Strapp. And we've got Darren Delbray presenting.
Yes,
Darren, if you can just give everybody a few seconds just to finish up whatever it is they're writing. Maybe you want to stop sharing your screen.
Okay, can everyone see my screen?
So this is Strapp. Okay, if you guys are okay, he's going to start. Judges okay with it? Okay, I think we've got to go ahead.
Okay, cool. So do any of these items look familiar to you? How about the drill that you use to prove that you can still fix things, or the camping equipment that you pull out once or twice a year? Now, I remember walking around my apartment and I realized that I own a lot of things that I only ever use once a week, a month, or a few times in the year. For example, the guitar that sits in my lounge, or the spare laptop that's in my study. These items are picking up dust and I only ever use it when I decide to use it. Hi, my name is Darren Delbray, the co-founder of Strapp, a peer-to-peer rental marketplace. And what we have found is that there are millions of rands worth of underutilized idle items sitting in homes and garages around the country and around the world. And the fact is that there's currently no safe or easy way to earn an income from things that you own, or to easily access what you need for a short period of time. Now, even with unemployment that has been skyrocketing over a couple of years, especially since COVID, people are struggling to earn a living. Now, even with the average South African salary that sits at roughly 23,000 Rand, to be in the top 10% of income earners, it's roughly 7,300 Rand per month. Now, with 75% of that going towards paying off debt and only 14.4% of the country contributing towards savings, people are looking for additional ways to earn an income. Alongside McKinsey research that is showing that since COVID has hit, people's income has decreased. They've become a lot more cost conscious and have been looking for additional ways to save money. Now, there's also the fact that fraud has increased in 2020 alone by 40%, and Facebook removes 1.5 billion fake accounts on their platform per quarter. And it just shows that it's just simply not safe to engage and transact over today's platforms. Then we look at mass production and mass ownership of items that is truly destroying our planet. For example, if you take your normal household drill, did you know that that on average is only used in its entire lifetime for 12 minutes, and it contributes 28 kilograms of CO2 emissions. The spare laptop that's in my office, 350 kilograms of CO2 emissions. That's equivalent of driving 1,255 kilometers. So what we do is we build safe transactional communities to increase your income and increase your access to experiences. And we do this by providing a social lending community, a platform that enables you to rent out the things that you hardly use to other people in your community for a short period of time, providing a safer way for you to transact and truly be part of your community, the Airbnb of personal possessions. Now, if we look at the global sentiment towards sharing, a study by Nielsen has shown that the global willingness to share, for example, has at 28% for electronic items, 23% for power tools, and 15% for home items, etc. So this shows that globally, the willingness to share your personal possessions is on the increase, especially living a lighter lifestyle. Then we look at the growth of peer-to-peer business models like crowdfunding, accommodation, and car sharing, and these have been seeing rapid growth since their debut. And if we look where the big red arrow is, this shows the equipment sharing market, and it is peaking through and growing at over 5%. And this is where we think the big opportunity is, and is why we have chosen this as our niche. So if you look at our traction, we've currently processed over 49,000 Rands worth of rental fees, over 67 bookings. We've got 121 user accounts, 33 unique lenders, and 89 listed items. And our strategy has been focusing on the supply side of the market. So acquiring lenders, specifically niche specialist communities, because they're easy to identify and easy to reach over existing platforms and directly contacting those communities. Now, the true value to our customer lies in our ability to enable your everyday item owner to earn an income off of what they already own, to easily and affordably borrow what they need from the community, and to provide a safer way to transact and truly be part of your community. Now, when we look at the market size of the underutilized items market, it is massive, right? But what is available to us sits roughly at about 23.6 million underutilized items per year, and available according to our business model is roughly 7.1 million underutilized items per year. Now, we take currently 10% commission from the borrower and 10% commission from the item owner to get a total of 20% commission. And in the next 12 months, we're looking to get an expected 750 bookings to get an expected revenue of just over 100,000 Rand. Now, we don't have many direct competitors, but what makes us truly stand out is our focus on community-centric design, building transactional communities. Secondly, is our truly custom and scalable product inspired by our customers. And lastly, is enabling your everyday item owner to earn an income off of what they already own. Now, if you look at the team, we are all good friends, know each other from high school, and have similar backgrounds in information systems honors and building customer-centric products. Jamie and myself are the co-founders, and James is the latest addition to the team. Our vision is to redefine ownership one shared experience at a time, and by using technology to make it easier and safer to transact and truly be part of your community. Thank you.
Almost to the dot. Well done, Darren. Thank you. Just to let you know, I probably have 20 of that, however many million items sitting around doing nothing. So yeah, I'd be super happy to get my stuff on your platform. Yeah. Any questions from anyone? Precious, over to you.
Hi, Darren. Very good idea and presentation. I just wanted to know, how do you define your market and how do you size it? I'll ask all my questions and you can just address them all. I'm just curious about that. And then I'm also wondering how you then also indemnify yourself of risk with regards to the obviously you provide the platform, but the exchanges between two individuals. So who bears the risk there? Are there indemnities? And how do you also control quality around that exchange?
Yeah, sure. So when you look at the market size, what we did there is the 23.6 million, that comes from previous research done by Gumtree, which shows in 2017, roughly 40% of South Africa's population sold at least one item in the year. So we sort of use that as a proxy for underutilized items. So, roughly there's 23.6 million underutilized items that have been sold in 2017. Obviously, that's a lot larger when you consider items that are lying around being underutilized or only being used once a week or once a month. And then we go down to 7.1 million based off the Nielsen data, as well as our own personal data, first-party data coming from our customers, which is showing about 30% of the people that we reach out to are willing to share their personal possessions with other people in the market. And then going on to some of what you mentioned about the trust factors. So trust is a very, very big factor for our platform and to bring trust into the platform. So currently we verify all of our users that come onto our platform, and soon that's going to be an API that's going to be linked with Home Affairs to make sure that we know exactly who the people are that are transacting on our platform. Secondly is the lender is able to ask for a deposit that we manage centrally. We also have a centralized payment system. And we offer escrow, essentially. So we only pay the lenders once we get confirmation that the item has been handed over successfully. We are looking and getting more of we've currently got rating and reviews, but are making it more in-depth so that we can make our quality assurance more systematic. So currently, once the item's been handed over, the lender and the borrower need to make sure that it meets their standards, that the item is working, all is good. And then if we receive any complaints, we have still holding onto those funds, and we can do a refund up to 24 hours. Then once it's been returned, the borrower needs to send us a photo confirmation that the item has successfully been confirmed, and the lender needs to do his quality checks within 24 hours, and then only after 24 hours, then we send the deposit back to the borrower to make sure that he's satisfied with the quality. Like I said, we want to systemize a lot more of those QA checks going forward. And actually, now that I remembered, in terms to mitigate the risk and where the risk lies. So currently it lies within the lender, and we facilitate the transaction and the deal. And we currently are in conversations with a few insurance companies, and we've got a meeting on Thursday actually to discuss potential insurance options to try and decrease a lot of that risk.
Thank you. And Tom?
Thanks, Janine. I've got two questions. First, your route to market. Can you just elaborate a little bit about that? What your plans are? And then you've got a quite specific pre-seed funding objective. What would you use the funding for?
Cool. So our route to market, like I said, is we're quite protective over the product categories that we're offering, right? So we don't want to be known as the platform for necessarily anything. So we're trying to specifically target those niche specialist communities. So, like your nerds who own a lot of tech items, or your freelancers, your musicians, your photographers. These people are quite easy to identify, and they're already existing communities for musicians, for photographers. There's photography schools, there's societies at universities, there's companies that offer photography services. So there are a lot of existing communities that we want to tap into. Currently, all of our traction has just been based off of Facebook Marketplace, literally manually reaching out to people and seeing if they would be willing to rent out their items. So it's been very manual, cold calling people, well, not cold calling, but reaching out to people via existing secondhand platforms, because the secondhand market in South Africa is worth 1.4 trillion rand. So it's a big market to see how many of those we can actually convert to a rental instead. And then to your second point, our specific funding objective. So currently we have a very technical founding team. So Jamie's a software developer. I'm an IT business analyst / product owner. So we used to building products. So we don't necessarily need the funding for getting our platform up and running. It's currently existing. But where we really want to put a lot of the effort into is our sales and business development to get as many items on our platform as possible to foster more bookings. Because your average transaction revenue, the number of bookings and repeat bookings you get, is that those are our revenue drivers. So a big focus on sales and business development, brand awareness, and building a brand. Because as peer-to-peer rentals is quite a new model in the country, we're wanting to really get people used to that kind of foundation. And then we've got some growth ideas as well in terms of a rental depot, rental experiences, and a community transactional platform. that we're wanting to do some research and development with our actual product. I'm happy to expand on any of those growth factors as well, if you'd like.
Great, thank you, Darren. I think we're done with our 5 minutes there, unless anyone else, any of the other judges have an urgent question. Do you have a website to download their branding page? Anything they've got will be on there. Thank you, everyone. So we're going to go on to the other stream in 5 minutes, but before we do that, I'm just going to open up a breakout room for the judges to go into so they can discuss the social innovation startups that they've just listened to. And just to recap that we've got 2 inside it. We've got startups vying for 20,000 Rand, and the 2 that were chosen there were the Stinky and Kwela Brews. And then under the post-ideation, we've got Mandla Health, Mandla Money, Africanize, and Strapp. So just a reminder that the judge's decision is final, and they reserve the right to not actually award any monies if they choose to. Anyone who's been involved in this competition through the process is well aware of that, but I just wanted to make sure I mentioned it now. Judges, I'm going to just open up the breakout room. You'll see something come up, and if you can just take yourselves through there. Kayla will be in there as well with you. Okay. Hopefully it's working and doing what it needs to do to take you through there. Are you all seeing something? Yeah, I'm seeing judges disappearing. I think that's good. If any of the judges haven't gone, so they'll be gone for 5 minutes, and then when they come back, we'll be listening to the pitches for the pure profit commercial stream. Everyone's welcome to go and take a coffee break or whatever. In the meantime, I'm going to just talk a little bit about some of the other startups that we've had and a bit about the statistics. So we had 101 apply, and we had 101 apply, and we had 89 that registered to pitch for the actual semi-finals. We opened it up to a few workshops, and some were attended, some weren't. Some people, not they were all attended by different people. So we've had a couple of pitch workshops. We've had a business model workshop, and I know the 2 societies have had their own workshops to support this. Interestingly enough, only 23 women entrepreneurs, which is really, I think, just highlights again why it's important to put an emphasis on getting, on women entrepreneurship, which is actually my other business, Girlboss Hustle. And I would like to, invite all the women to join our Facebook group. It's very, very active as a start, very supportive. Girlboss Hustle, or women entrepreneurship. In terms of the awards, we'll only hand out the awards at the end after the next round. But we do have some awards that we're giving out, as Mpho mentioned, including 10,000 Rand as a once-off prize. And we've got a couple of contracts for biz and pocket advisor, which is kind of a legal aspect, which should be very helpful to some of the startups. And last year, our winner, Shruti Dalas, she actually said that the prize that she enjoyed the most was the course she got for Mpho Institute. So I think that'll be very interesting. Yes, Girlboss Hustle on Facebook, Brandy. I'll actually share it. I'll open it just now, just actually share the link. And let me try and do that right now and share the link. It's just that we notice that women kind of show up in a different way. They want more of a community support, and I think that's why there's a distinction. But the very fact that we're not seeing the numbers come through, I think, once again has, speaks a lot to what I'm talking about now. I'll share it in a few minutes when they get back. I'm just going to open up the spreadsheet for for the startups, and I just want to go through some names. Hopefully you might hear yourself, but some very, very interesting ones. Peach Toys, an environmentally sustainable sex toy manufacturer. We've had Venture and Co. Grow Pod. South African Consumers. This is basically a hydroponic system that fits indoors. Mandla Health, who we've seen here. Vaisa, which is an e-hailing platform for the non-metropolitan areas, which is a very interesting concept. Then we've got Lundazar's students, rendering services as a middleman between varsity students and high school students, obviously in terms of trying to encourage study at school. We have Culture Movers, an organization identifying problems in communities and finding non-profit organizations within schools, communities, environments, and arts to allow for creative space for youth. We've had Black Lock, focusing on producing products that digitize the control of the workspace. So very much software and hardware and virtual locks. Origin Music Investments aims to establish leading music rights investment vehicle for African songs. I think that's very interesting. I think I don't know if Daniel Strauss is on here, but I think that's something he might be interested in. Technocharge, an electronics company producing iPhone chargers of better quality than those that die out very quickly. Nefertiti Organic Health and Beauty Store. Bodyweight Athleisure, whom we'll hear from shortly. Hello Meal, which is providing meal preparation for students. And if I'm not mistaken, they were focused on meal kits that are for African style meals mostly, or maybe that's Rainbow Cuisine, Varsity Rainbow Cuisine. Sorry, I beg your pardon, Varsity Rainbow Cuisine is specifically for African tribe meals. Then we've had Cavmond Internet Hub, a small internet cafe providing networks, etc. Great Library of Alexandria, providing academic platforms for authors, academic institutions, publication houses and governments to publish their literary work. Now, if anyone knows anything about it, that is why a lot of the IP at universities are starting to get utilized in a better way, because they realized there was so much fantastic research being done. Sure, Faithful. There's been so much research done, and it lies fallow. Once the postgrad students have done the work, then it just lies there, and nothing further happens with that. And it's incredibly valuable research. So personally, I love that one. Sorry, somebody has asked me to re-mention. I'll have to go back after and take a look. I just want to make sure I get through them all. I'm sitting only on number 17 out of 101. Nobrac Industries is a chemical producing company located in the Western Cape, focused on directly solving the problem of climate change, which results to global warming, minimizing the need for alternative fossil fuel usage like electric cars, synthetic fuels. So that one I think has got a lot more to it than I can give justice to. Imali Accounting is a solution to limited levels of financial literacy among the South African entrepreneurs. Then we've got Heal Life. One of the biggest problems in psychiatry in South Africa is the shortage of psychiatrists. So this aims to solve that problem by allowing psychiatrists to receive, diagnose, and treat more patients than ever before. So basically, really streamlining the information that's coming in from patients. So I think that's also a fantastic one. MEQ is an audio tech firm focusing on software related to hearing assistance and hearing protection. Whoever that one is, please don't forget to take a look at Hearix, which comes out of Pretoria University and is now a global company. University Trade, application where students can discover, buy and sell or trade the university needs on a single platform. I think those can be good. I think that it goes back to finding, your niche of people. Another one, Accomplished Transition Company, seeks to offer a wide range of goal-minded, extensive mentorship. Then we've got Host, a tech startup that aims to tackle food waste problems. I know this is really big in the NGO space. Focusing on food waste within households, creating a device installed in the fridge or pantry that can monitor when your food is being used on all the expiry dates. Yeah, I could have done with that many times and probably still could. I almost buy only every 2 days now so that I can avoid that. The less people you have in your household, the more that becomes a problem. Safety Cosmetics is a cosmetic brand. Okay, then we've got UniAid, offering tutoring services to students with a booking and payment system, automation of timetables. Southern Current corrects the mistakes of traditional media houses, offers new industry, does not engage with young viewers. So this industry is geared towards traditional print and TV. However, their unique medium and revenue content generation models make them competitive. Not 100% sure what it is that they do. Just bear in mind, we haven't actually run a accelerator with this. We've just provided an opportunity for startups. Okay, so, you know, I hope everyone's finding this interesting while we're waiting, and just if someone could just let me know when the judges are back in. But hopefully you're finding it interesting, and I'm hoping now you can also see the absolute diversity that there is, and that we each see different problems or we see even the same problems differently. I think that's one thing you can see just in terms of the meal kit one. And another one is about, you know, first of all, we see problems differently, and also we see different problems. So I think, you know, we're seeing both at play here. The next one is basically a food truck for Tembisa. Then we've got e-technologies making a positive exponential shift within the technological space, occupying Africa to further aid and firmly cementing the idea of technological, environmental, social Africanism. One thing I'd just like to draw your attention to, all of you, while you're listening to, when you put in the brief description of your business, I know most of you are super new to this, but make it relevant and not wordy. What I've read to you now makes no difference. I'm sure they're very keen and clear about what they're doing, but, you know, simplify it. This is not about how clever you are and how clever your use of words is. It's rather about making it clear what you do. Even a comment by Bridgit to ask Fresh, what exactly market does he service? I think even that speaks to that. So their Holic is a new venture with the current team of honor students, struggling to meet their goal sample size because students don't prioritize taking surveys. They've come up with a platform that will fix this problem by incentivizing students to participate in surveys using points and prizes. Believe it or not, I know I know another couple of companies that's a very successful model there. Beta ED or Beta Ed is an edtech company specializing in improving accessibility to tertiary education. And, you know, obviously there's a lot of huge companies that are doing that now, the Mpho courses. You can study, in Verticom, study at all the top universities almost for free. In fact, many of the courses for free, and then obviously you've got some that requires a little bit of income, a little bit of cost to it. Sorry, just for those new people who've come in, while we're waiting for the judges to deliberate on the social innovation, I'm just going through some of the startups that have applied out of the 101. Otherwise, it's a coffee break for anybody who wants one. Then the next one is Legal Standpoint, making South African law more accessible to South Africans through an all-in-one legal education service platform. A couple of people entering into that space, but as always, it's about how quickly can you get to market. Don't try and be everything to everyone. Try and find your niche market. The next one is MedGram, medical platform servicing doctors, patients, and patient relatives, storing medical data of patients. The platform provides live updates on a family's members' health while in hospital. You know, believe it or not, I think this is really super important. I've actually had a family member in hospital last week who's also got, you know, early onset dementia. And I can't tell you that nobody knew. I mean, he was seeing 5 doctors. Nobody was taking, you know, the lead in this. None of the doctors. We had absolutely no idea what was going on with him. You know, definitely from my point of view, I think that's super needed. I'm glad to see all the chats going on. Please chat amongst yourselves and there in the meantime. Next one is Vapor, professional car wash surface. Funzy, platform helping people discover fun activities within their city. Once again, you know, I've seen ones like this work, and I definitely think there's a need for that. Cyclo Global, business focused on recycling renewable waste in an efficient, economical nature. Once again, we all know how important that is. Distinctly, who we know has already pitched here. Gift Box, the aim of the company is to sell and produce personalized gifts and baskets. Once again, we all know many companies, including the likes of Nextflorist, who have done really incredibly well out of it. A lot of companies like Spears, you know, Spears Wine Farm, they do that very successfully as well. Gmore, our company focused on coming up with new ideas like carbon-free, CFC-free, and executing that. Once again, you know, playing to the environmental factors that are going on, but it doesn't actually tell you what they do. Kwela Brews, who we've just heard from. Generic system, EXP Tech, based on a new field of knowledge and craft on basis of what is defined as a generic system in the company's philosophy based on intellectual definition of a generic, practically proves to have great potential. Once again, I'm sure there's a lot of interest to that, but you don't tell us what it is that you do. Donor, the concept is to create an app that is similar to Tinder, where people in need can create profiles, let donors know who their donations are going to, and can chat with them if they want to. NHHS, Bubble, based on the problem of deciding what to eat, questioning the nutritional value. So it's very much about the health value. We all know that XYZ is healthy, very common, but is it? So it depends on what your own dietary requirements are, is it healthy? And I think that speaks to what was just spoken about with Mandla Health. Inclusive TV, we're going to be hearing from. Souls and Earth, business structure under which Souls and Earth will be registered as private. Okay, I'm not sure what they do. Unblock Africa, an end-to-end track and trace platform, obviously super important, leveraging blockchain technology. Zaka Manager, cross-platform mobile application. Once again, there's very little real information on what it is that they do. It's about financial habits. There's a couple of very successful ones like that. Must I carry on? Are the judges back yet? Please interrupt me if they're back, because I'm not looking at my screen. Oh, sorry, I've just heard that you're back. Okay, so that's great. So we got to, just to let you know, everyone, before we hand over, we actually got to 50, Zaka Manager. So there's another 50 to go. And I'm sure you will appreciate now how incredibly difficult this process has been, just to get down to these 11. There's a lot of really well, okay, awesome, perfect. So let's carry on. Now we're going on to the pure profit or commercial stream. The first lot in this is ideation. There's someone who's got an idea and really wants to have time. So we've got 2 people who are vying for the 20,000 Rand prize. First up, we've got Bodyweight Athleisure with Brandy Zulu. So over to you, Brandy. Can you share your screen? Are you here, Brandy?
Hi, I'm here.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Ah, there you are. Great. I can see you on my screen now. Welcome back, judges.
Can you all see my screen?
Yep, go ahead. 5 minutes.
Okay, so last year I was trying to take my home training seriously, so I went on the hunt for some activewear. I couldn't believe how severely lacking the stuff on the market was for plus size people was. No matter where I looked, few options with the right price, fit, or quality. And so safe to say, I was angry. After venting to a male friend of mine, he just calmly said to me, if that's what you feel like, imagine how I feel. He owns only one pair of leggings, and that's a problem for him. Bodyweight Athleisure aims to change that. We know that with the pandemic still rife globally, we want to promote good health and wellness, but that can't happen when the tools for us to do that aren't there, and that includes comfortable activewear. Health isn't necessarily the problem with plus size people, but what I do know is that when you find something that fits, it inspires the confidence for you to take on more, and that includes exercise and other activities associated with wellness. Further, we're moving into more responsible consumption and production in activewear, but local consumers are still not given enough of those options. Issues such as inconsistent sizing, no support, and weak fabrics really bar plus size people from buying activewear. However, access is truly one of the biggest problems. People love to rumor that the market is small, but it's not plus size people's fault that they can't buy something that doesn't exist. Plus size people who buy apparel from brands who cater to them or from brands that consider them are especially loyal to those brands. And a really good example of that is Girlfriend Collective and Savage X Fenty. And to top it off, plus size activewear brands mainly target for and design for women. Some research I've done of local athleisure brands, this is almost entirely the case. I believe that inclusion should extend past sizing and interrogate gender and other issues. So we want to offer unisex plus size athleisure that is broadly available and ethically sourced at affordable prices. By rethinking the design and plus size athleisure, we can achieve that not only through thoughtful construction and durable fabrics, but by offering customization, we can offer people the perfect fit. By referring to the sizing chart, people can use that to match their fit. But if someone feels that they need an extra few centimeters, they can do that. We can offer that customization as long as it's more than 3 centimeters. Recently, people have voted for the brand in a competition, and 163 out of the 240 people on our Instagram were interested in the brand. The supply chain is set, and our website and socials are up and running. We are in a unique niche where we cater to plus size people and will ethically and sustainably produce. No other South African brand is there, and especially without customization. We also aim to promote gender inclusion, but further, with affordable prices aimed towards student budgets, our pieces are a no-brainer. And accounting for the production costs, we aim for an expected 20% margin, with a starting range of sports bra and leggings. These are the products our market is most likely to buy. Our target market is most likely to buy, not only globally, but according to a survey I most recently conducted. The times of students and young people running from a lecture or from work to change for a workout is over. And conversely, people who just need comfort for hours of studying or clinical rounds have met their match. We plan to sell to them over our website and using social media to direct traffic. And while I founded the brand, my CMT and fabric supplier are specialists in the industry and have a lot of expertise in the industry. Of course, winning this money would be a huge help in starting the production, but I would also highly appreciate any expertise regarding social media marketing and advertising. On the screen are our details, and I hope to hear from you soon. With your help, I could be the next Gymshark, widely available locally for plus size people. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandy. Thank you for adhering to the time. we're super short on time now. So, okay, we've got 5 minutes, please, for questions from the judges. That was succinct and clear. So I don't know how many questions we'll have. Let's see. Any of the judges have some questions? Sorry, Precious, over to you.
Thank you, Brandy. That was a really good presentation. I'm just wondering if you have an idea, I know it's still early days, if you have an idea of the size of the market that you'd be servicing, and also have you considered maybe a case study of Gymshark and see how they've marketed their product? Because you do have a similar sort of ethos, although Gymshark is not well priced in terms of South Africa. It's not the cheapest product, but do you have an idea of how they've marketed that and whether it's replicable in the South African context?
I'll start with the second question. So I actually did watch a video of the Gymshark founder, and he was speaking about how he started the brand and all of that. And one of the main differences is that he had a huge range of manufacturers who could take on much smaller numbers. And in South Africa, a lot of the MOQs are much larger. So the CMT that our manager found is very reasonable on that. So in that way, it doesn't quite, it's not as replicable in that context. But and also the manufacturers that he used had a much more extensive range of say materials and finishes and all of that, and we still don't have that. For example, if I want to incorporate an antimicrobial aspect to my clothing, I'd have to source it overseas. There isn't an aspect like that here in South Africa. So in terms of what Gymshark has done, they had a little bit more at their disposal to work with so that they could market more. But I'm always willing to see where it goes. And for me personally, I want to stick to local.
Sorry, I'm going to stop you on that, Brandy. Jason, you've got a question, and I know we're short on time there.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly ask how you see, this is generally speaking a highly competitive space. Like, I mean, I guess you have a niche in that it's focused on plus size, but you know, can you just speak a little bit to how you intend to carve out your niche, or how this sort of is differentiated from any other clothing brand?
So the main problem with the clothing that a lot of plus size people buy these days, or the main complaint that they have, is that they feel like it's being graded up from smaller pieces, and plus size bodies aren't necessarily the same as those that are smaller. So I feel our value proposition would be the ability to customize your pieces and say, look, I know this is what we offer, but if you need something that fits you a lot better, that's what we have. And I feel like that's what that can really stand out among the activewear community.
Cool, that's clear. Thank you.
Brandy, I love what you just said there, because it is an assumption that plus size bodies are just a bigger version of a non-plus size body. And I think that's a very important distinction. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That was really fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope your judges are happy with that. And thank you very, very much, Brandy. Okay, our next person on the ideation, and also up against Brandy for 20,000, which, by the way, we haven't mentioned, has actually been donated by, sponsored by an anonymous donor, somebody very well entrenched in the entrepreneurial community in South Africa. So the next one is Inclusive PV with Athleisure Vellum. Are you here, Athleisure? Oh, there you are, in front of my screen. Okay. All right, over to you, Athleisure. Judges, are you okay if you begin? Okay, Athleisure, and when it comes to questions, if you don't mind keeping answers short, Athleisure. Thank you. Over to you. We can hear you and see it. If you can just make it go full screen.
Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to the Future of Renewable Energy at Inclusive PV Consulting, where we bring renewable energy to the informal businesses. So what is the problem? For over the last 2 decades in South Africa, we've had a pandemic, which is the power cuts from Eskom, and the improper governance that has resulted in more and more increase in electricity prices. But we all know this because we're all from South Africa. But have you ever wondered how much impact this has on the small businesses? Imagine going to a barber shop, then the lights go out, your hair is half cut, and then yeah, obviously you're not gonna be happy about that. But the barber himself will have to close down the store for about 4 hours. Imagine now you are a barber shop owner, lights go out for 4 hours, the refrigeration is not working, obviously no one's gonna buy from you. In fact, what other shops do is that they close their businesses because with no electricity, there's no surveillance. That means that they are gonna be definitely gonna be robbed in the townships. So the solution to this crisis is a rooftop solar system. It's not a groundbreaking innovation, it's already there. Yeah, but it's all about finding the correct market for this. Just a side note, for those who don't know what solar panels are, it's these blue panels that you see on the rooftop, which convert the energy from the sun to electricity. So we have 2 systems that are suitable for township businesses: the battery backup solar system as well as a grid-connected system. So they are both on the rooftop, but what happens is that these systems are different in such a way that in storage. So this is designed to give more power than the usual household. Then the excess power will be stored in batteries in the battery backup system. And then in the grid-connected system, the excess power will actually be exported to Eskom. And then there's a bidirectional meter which is installed, whereby when we export the power to Eskom, your meter reading will actually increase. And then at night, when there's no sun, the meter will actually start to decrease. So that really saves on electricity. So the target market is small businesses based on the townships. So yeah, so these are the likes of smaller shops which contribute $1 billion in the South African economy. These are beauty salons we see along the streets, the barber shops, as well as the social hubs. So what are the benefits of this? Well, it depends. If you are a smaller shop, the major benefit is the cutting of the overhead costs of the business. And if you're a barber shop, maybe it creates that energy independence. Future longevity and sustainability. The system will operate for about 20 to 25 years. So this is a typical usage of a barber shop. Just want to draw your attention to the bottom right corner, which is how much a barber shops actually pays for electricity a year, which is about 28,000. So that's actually that's a really big amount for small businesses. So the revenue is highly dependent on business power consumers. So we have the type of informal business, which is a barber, bakery, social hub, or a barber shop, and we are the system cost is price. And as on your right, you can see the net profit that we make per customer. So the revenue model for smaller shops, they cannot afford that such high amounts as shown below. So one revenue model would be the upfront cost, which most of them cannot afford. And the other one is the listing. So how this works is that you pay a deposit, and then on the return date, you will actually have you will have paid the actual system size. And then after that, if you want to take more than the revenue date, the return date, your system will actually have more interest. What makes us different from other communities? There's many communities in the renewable energy space with system complexity, and what our nature is actually the market size and the impact. So many of these systems you can find them in in
Athleisure, we're really short on time now, so you're over your 5 minutes. So can you just go straight to whatever you think we might have missed out that's truly relevant for now?
Yeah, actually,
okay, you want to just talk this one through the slide?
Yeah, I can just talk through the team. First is Lunga, he's the head of marketing and finances. And I'm a student. Riani and I are both engineering students, of which I'm a graduate, and we are responsible for research and development. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, you had a lot there to cover. The first person's hand up is Bridgit, and I'm immediately going to say that Anton will have a question, seeing as he knows the space well. Over to you, Bridgit.
My question is around cost. Obviously, your target market is going to be quite price sensitive. So how are you going to get around, what's the cost model?
Can you see this table here?
Yes, go ahead.
So this is the cost model for a typical barber shop or a beauty salon. They spend about like below 900 for electricity a month. So their system size is about 750 watts. So the approximate cost for them to buy is like 40,000, and the net profit that we make is about 8,000. So this depends on really what kind of business and how much you spend on a monthly basis on electricity, and what system size your business has. If it increases, the system size increases as well.
Okay, thank you.
Anton? Sorry, just on mute there. Yeah.
What's your traction so far? And then that's the first question. And then second question would be, any concerns around theft of the solar panels by your potential customers?
I will answer the first question. We are a very early startup, which is currently trying to raise funding. So I wouldn't say we have any traction. We're looking to make traction because we have not been operating for such a long time. With regarding to theft, yeah, and there's technologies that exist. That's like a fire alarm. So these technologies we will install together with the solar panels, so that whenever there is suspicious intent, or whenever they try to steal them, and then the fire alarm will just notify whoever the user is, whoever the owner is.
Precious?
Thank you. I just wanted to ask, I think the question around the affordability of a barbershop or a baker, how would the payment profile work in terms of them paying for the system? I saw you were trying to explain it, and then we sort of got cut off. I just wanted to hear that again, sorry.
So if you can see the graph here, this is a leasing option. So you don't have to pay up the upfront costs. We just list the solar panel to you. So the return date here is in line together with the system cost. So we give you a typical return date for maybe other shops is about 5 years. So that's but the period here is in months. So you have to pay us the amount you are paying now to buy electricity for the next 5 years. And then after that, you will have done your payment. You will have reached the system cost. But if you want to elongate the return date, and then we're going to charge the system cost together with some interest rate. So that's how we charge this. It's actually 2 models.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that explanation. Thanks, Athleisure. Thank you. Great. Yeah, nerve-wracking, Athleisure. But great job. Awesome. Well done. Well done. Okay, so those two conclude the ideation for the commercial pure profit stream. We'll just give the judges a few minutes to get everything up front. You'll see in the chat Simon's been adding the brand pages for each of the finalists. Please feel free to download them, contact directly if you'd like. Next up, we are in the post-ideation part of the program. And if we can invite Nong Autonomous Systems of Devon Smith to come up. Over to you, Devon. Hi.
Share
Do
my
you want to
screen.
start sharing? And let me just get a heads up from everyone that you can go ahead.
All right. So like in true Murphy's Law fashion, my internet went out just before this started. So I'm on LTE at the moment. Hopefully,
Oh,
stay
do
strong.
I feel your pain? That's exactly what happened to me. I'm no longer at my home. I had to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, judges, can I have a thumbs up? Are you ready for the next round? Just one of you? Okay, I think everyone's still writing some stuff down. Okay. All right. Okay, over to, sorry, Anton, you look like you're still busy. You're good. Okay, great. Over to you, Devon.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Devon Smythe, and I'll be going over the East Basel concept overview for you on behalf of Nong Autonomous Systems. The problems with the modern day shopping experience. They're not very convenient, and the ones that are moving towards an increased sense of convenience are removing you as the customer in that whole process, a lack of personalization. Our preferences are forever changing. We want our time and our money to be respected, and we'll go to the options that best serve these needs. And of course, COVID-19, we know what this has done to the shopping experience. However, this pandemic has forced innovation to leap forward at least 10 years. All sectors have had to make huge leaps forward in order to make the future happen now. What is the solution? In order to address the above challenges, we devised a product to be built on the Nong Autonomous Systems application, East Basel. What is East Basel? East Basel is a 24-hour unmanned autonomous store made possible by the use of RFID tags and mobile software, designed to create a frictionless shopping experience. This experience will be hyper-personalized to you, the individual. Rewards are tailor-made to your shopping habits. We use a data-backed approach in order to give consumers deals that speak directly to them. How does this happen? Walk in, get your items, walk out. Our process will be the quickest shopping experience available, leaving customers asking, how did that happen? Magic. That was just a little video.
Be it waiting in queues, having to deal with inadequate customer service, or in these times needing to practice the habit of social distancing, generic shops and supermarkets no longer cut it. Introducing East Basel by Nong Autonomous Systems, the 24-hour autonomous place to shop. East Basel is an unmanned single-room shop where you can find most, if not all, your favorite snacks, drinks, and household essentials. In order to gain access to East Basel, you must first sign up with a Nong account. At the entrance of the shop, you'll be prompted to scan a digital QR code and register as a customer for access to East Basel. Once registered, you'll be able to scan the QR code again, and the store will unlock its doors for you. Once you've gathered all your items, simply scan them in manually and select your payment method. After your payment has gone through successfully, you'll be allowed to leave the East Basel before it locks itself, awaiting the next customers in need of ultimate shopping convenience.
All right, so why will this work from a business perspective? We plan to do high volumes. We're going to drive high volumes through customer curated deals based on individual buying habits. This increases customer retention. Low overheads. The autonomous nature of our stores allows us to have little to no labor cost. And as a result, we can offer our products at extremely low prices while increasing our profit margins. These goods are designed to be fast moving. This allows us to always be selling inventory, so we do not sit on stock for a prolonged period of time. The hyper-personalization aspect. East Basel puts the customer first, making tailor-made deals that fits your shopping habits. On the app, users will be able to complete payments, view their payments, make shopping lists, see what they've purchased, as well as track nearby East Basel stores, as well as the inventory contained within them. This is so you don't bounce between stores looking for the items that you want. Deals can be pushed to consumers in real time and can be adapted on the fly. This encourages consumers to walk into their local East Basel. Some market validation. Convenience retail is growing 13% annually. Grocery retail accounts for about 55% of overall retail sales in South Africa. And the younger generations believe that Amazon Go type stores will really displace current brick and mortar retail stores. Despite the growth in e-commerce, I'm sure you're wondering, are physical stores still relevant? The short answer is yes, because at the end of the day, no one can pick a banana quite like you can. Our competition, Amazon Go, Checkers Rush, and 7-Eleven. Our business model, we intend to generate revenue through 3 avenues: retail sales, advertising and marketing through the Nong app, as well as the data insights we'll be harvesting from the data we collect. Our team, we've got Roberto Elofant, myself, Katiso Mabulu, and Tapelo Ntite, as well as our advisor, Gladwin Milano-Lu, who's currently the director of OneCart. The ask. Our total ask is for 195,000 Rand at the moment, and this is just to secure a location, to secure a container, to secure inventory, and to increase the development done on our current app and RFID system. Thank you very much. I will now be taking questions.
Oh, your timing is wonderful. Thank you. I can't believe how much you fit it in. You fit it in a lot there. Anton, do you mind if I just open the floor to you? Bridgit? Sorry, yeah, go ahead, Anton.
Yeah, happy, absolutely, yeah. Thanks, it's a great presentation, it's a great concept. I've got one question around the hyper-personalization aspect of it. So are you saying that that shop will stock goods according to my personal shopping habits? Please elaborate on that. My bigger question is, what's the relevance in South Africa? I understand that Checkers Rush, they've just launched a concept store that pretty much follows that kind of like self-checkout model that we've seen in like in Europe some years ago, and Amazon Go, they test this concept as well. But in South Africa, what's the relevance? And then, yeah, you mentioned some big competitors. So what's the plan, taking on the big boys?
Okay, so to answer your first question, the hyper-personalization aspect was, going forward, we will add more inventory based on our user needs, but more specifically, it will be around your buying habits. How often do you go to our shop and buy milk? How often do you go and buy bread? And then based on these, we'll send you push notifications each week as you do these things, and we'll give you a discount based on what you purchase. So if, let's say it's the week where you buy your milk and your bread, we will give you a discount to go to our store to buy the milk and the bread for that day. In terms of our competitors, Zimmer Cabs existed before Uber. Nobody knows who they are. MySpace existed before Facebook. That didn't go out too well either. We believe our focus on the consumer, the personalization aspect, is what is going to keep consumers coming back. And in terms of our South African focus, all the 3 big players in the market at the moment, Woolworths, Pick n Pay, and ShopRite, all of them in their most recent financials have made a statement, it was their own slide, saying how they would like to increase consumer convenience, as their customers are saying, we want it to be more convenient. We want more access to more things quicker than we have before. And that's where our market validation comes from. So if the 3 big boys are doing it, I think they see something as well. And I think we're in the right spot to disrupt them.
Bridgit, over to you.
Yeah, I'm struggling to understand this idea of a physical space. When you were describing it to me and when I looked at your video, it seemed as though you were going to aggregate products from multiple sources to create a highly personalized shopping experience for someone where they weren't limited by store. That's how it came across, but now there's a physical space. So I'm not sure why you chose a physical space, and how that's a shipping container is a solution for the problem that you're trying to solve.
So,
okay.
So to answer that, the idea is to make shopping more convenient. Whereas if you need to go to your current day Pick n Pays and Woolworths and you go at the wrong time, you can spend an hour, 2 hours in that shop for things that you go for and they might not even have at that moment. So ours is a solution to that convenience aspect, and the hyper-personalization trade to that is you, Bridgit, get rewarded for shopping at our store. We know who you are. To Checkers and Pick and Pay and the others, you are just a consumer. You are another number walking into their shop. In terms of the container, we feel as if our model can work in many, many different forms. So while we're not based solely on the container, we'll also be competing with the other guys in brick and mortar stores. The container just allows us more flexibility to get into more areas, such as office parks, for example, where customers need fresh produce quickly during their lunch breaks. They need to get lunch and household essentials and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Bridgit.
1 minute left for questions, Precious.
My question is also more of a comment, really. With retail, the key really is scale. So for your ability to be able to give those discounts and that customized shopping experience will depend on whether you are able to build scale. So what's the thoughts around that and how to fund that? Because your initial funding is really the brick and mortar, but your biggest cost will be actually the stock and ensuring that you have that quick turnaround. So what are your thoughts around overcoming that?
So Precious, that's a good question. What you're looking at now in terms of the ask is just our seed funding to move towards a Series A. This is just for us to get our first store up and running so we can demonstrate the need and the desire for products, for a service like this rather. We believe the tech is able to scale astronomically and easily. Once we get the one store right, it's a copy and paste model across the country.
Thank you, Devin. Sorry, we have to cut you short. I know that we've got judges on short timelines. So thank you very, very much. Thank you very much, Devin. Fleeker Finance, Japan Mapiti. Where are you, sir? There you are. Hi.
I'm here. Hi.
Good. Just give the judges a few minutes to a minute to finish up whatever they're writing. In the meantime, yeah, open your slide.
All right, cool.
Let me just get a thumbs up from one or two. Okay. All right. Can I ask you to go ahead? Thanks, Precious.
Sure. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see. Great. Thank you.
Perfect. Times are changing. Problems are being solved, but we still have an age-old problem. Before I go any further, I want to ask you a very simple question. And I need you to keep this question at the back of your mind throughout the entire presentation. Would you go to a store and buy a loaf of bread for 2 times more than what you're supposed to buy it for? Or even worse, would you buy it for 3 times more than what you're supposed to pay it for? Greetings, everyone. I want to tell you my story as Tshepang Mapiti. Tshepang graduated from UCT in 2019. Upon graduating, he was fortunate enough to get a job. 2 months down the line, Tshepang wanted to buy a car. To his surprise, he came across an age-old problem. No bank wanted to give Tshepang money simply because he did not have a credit score. Tshepang then hustled around and he finally found a bank that was willing to assist. And to his surprise again, he came across an age-old problem. The interest rates were just too high simply because he had no credit history. And this is where we as Fleeker Finance come into the picture. We have designed a really simple solution for students. We are introducing the concept of small value credit. So how the solution works is that a student will go into their app store, download the Fleeker Finance app, apply for credit, get approved within a day, get a virtual card, and then they can start spending at the local stores while building their credit score at the same time. In our first phase of the project, we currently make money through a small interest rate as well as a fixed service fee. To this day, we have over 1.7 million students in both public universities as well as TVET colleges. And based on the mini research that we did prior to launching Fleeker Finance, I can guarantee you that over 50% of these students do not have a credit score. We've launched about 3 weeks ago and we've had over 285 applications. In our first week alone, we've had over 50 approved credit applications. I know some of you are probably saying, well, these are just numbers. Students don't like you. Well, that's true. Students don't like us. Students love us. And these are just some of the amazing feedback that we received from students in the past few weeks. We currently partnered with NISA Finance as well as Lipa Payments, who are assisting us with the NCR license as well as the payment wallet app. Like in any other market, we have our so-called competitors. We have the credit wellness apps as well as the two big banks of South Africa, namely Absa and Nedbank, who are offering students credit up to the value of 2,000 rands. I'm sure most of you are probably standing up right now and asking yourself, why are these two big banks doing such a terrible job at solving this age-old problem? The answer is very simple, to be honest. This is a problem to us as students, but to them, this is just a way to get income. We are raising this money so that we can be able to reach more institutions, get our own license, as well as to improve our product. Our team consists of myself, Tepang Mabidi, as well as my business partner, Asonele Gevenga. And the team that you're looking at in your screen right now is what we call a dream team. This is a team that will ensure that no student will have to bear the pain of. This is a dream team that will ensure that no student will have to bear the pain of paying 2 times or even 3 times more interest rate than what they are supposed to pay. With that said, and with that question at the back of your mind, I'd like to open floor for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Tepang. Of course, I know this is a real problem, right? Yeah. So thank you. Thanks very, very much for that presentation. We've got 2 raised hands. Let me see who they are. If you can just unmute yourself. I can't seem to see it for some reason. I know I haven't got the gallery on. Anton?
I've got just one question, and that's around your service fee. So you're charging a nominal interest plus a 10 Rand service fee. Is that per transaction, or how does it work? Because then that could become quite expensive for the students.
Yeah, thanks Anton for the question. So the 10 Rand service fee is per the approved loan. So whenever we approve a loan, that's when the service fee is charged. And also we find more ways to maximize the value for students. We currently have partnership with some stores where they can give students who pay using Fleeker Finance credit discounts. So then that 10 Rands and that 2% interest suddenly becomes very negligent.
Okay.
Negligible, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Bridgit, thank you.
So where does your money come from? And what is your success being with people paying it back?
Thank you for the question. So our money comes from the small interest rate and the service fee. But mostly the money comes from the service fee. And also we had the first repayments last week and we had 100% repayments. And that is due to the fact that our business model is not to be a loan provider, but to help students build the credit history. So the students that we attract are people that want to build the credit history, so they understand the negative impact of defaulting.
Sorry, no, but are you lending money to students?
Yes, we are lending money.
Okay. Where does that money come from?
So we've managed to raise an investment loan book.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
Jason?
I just wanted to ask a little bit more about the business model. I mean, I think there's scope to, like, I think there's scope to do a lot more than what you have on this about. How do you feel about your market being students versus maybe like parents, who I would imagine would pay a hell of a lot more than 10 Rand, you know, to enable their kids to start building a credit history?
Thanks, Jason. As you've seen on the screen, like you explicitly said, it's phase one of the business model. So that's the starting point, so that we can be able to establish ourselves in the market and build trust, so that when we go to students and tell them that you're going to help your child to build the credit history, the students who could pay 250 Rands per month if the kids build the credit history. So that's the phase one. And also there's a B2B aspect into our business, being providers to banks and other financial institutions. So this is just the phase one. There'll be more things there'll be more opportunities for Fleeker Finance to tap into.
Great, thank you. Thanks very much. I think you've answered all the questions. Thank you, Asanelo. Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you.
And now yeah, that was great. Thank you. And now we're on to our last one. Yalo Hemp with Mike Norman. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
And it looks like the judges are ready for you, so go ahead.
Great. I'm going to assume you can see my screen.
Yep. There we go. Perfect.
Great. Hi there. My name is Mike Norman, and I'm here to represent Yalo. We're currently bringing sustainable hemp-based cardholders to market. However, we're looking to add to our offerings. Yalo is our genesis business that myself and 6 others have been working tirelessly at for the past 9 months. Our team consists of 7 entrepreneurs currently studying through the School of Applied Management at UCT. As a group, we come from a wide range of backgrounds, including economics, finance, politics, philosophy, and marketing, as well as work experience in HR. I'm heading up this team, and as many group members have worked within other entrepreneurial ventures previously, providing us with much needed expertise, which has assisted us in bringing our products to market. To date, we've raised over 30,000 Rand in funding, which we've used to launch our cardholder business. On the 1st of September, we hosted our MVP launch at the UCT Genesis Expo, where we sold out of our vertical cardholders and are currently halfway to selling out of our horizontal cardholders. These cardholders, made out of a hemp canvas, feature an eye-catching touch of a shwe print, which differentiated us from our competitors and provided us with deep insight into both the cardholder and hemp market in South Africa. The clear demand for hemp-based products was evident in our launch, and we're working towards bringing more hemp-based products to market. Throughout this process, we've identified some brand strengths that we're currently capitalizing on. Firstly, our products provide customers with a unique way in which they can differentiate themselves from others, yet feel connected with the same people that share a mindset. Hemp is not your typical material, and to include it with stretcher on a cardholder is something that has never been seen before in the current South African market, something our target market is also really interested in. Our other cardholders on the market, from brands such as Fossil, Freedom of Movement, and Jekyll & Hyde, are all made from leather and other unsustainable materials and tend to carry a higher price tag while not showing any greater value. Lastly, we found that many of our existing customers and customers that have shown an interest in purchasing our next batch of products are looking to streamline the things that they carry, and thus looking for something that is smaller than a typical bulky purse or wallet. Our primary audience we've identified is individuals aged between 16 and 30. And this is due to their likelihood to purchase new products that are not common in the market as of yet, as well as their decreased stigmatization towards the hemp plant in general. These students are likely to identify with these materials, and we're able to access them to our own connections as students at UCT. We're engaging with our customers primarily through Instagram, and we're accessing them through our online retail channels, while we're working on securing partnerships with other stores to sell our products on a consignment basis. As you can see before you, we followed a strong product development process, and we're constantly evolving our products. We're working to include RFID blocking mesh in our cardholders to block those unwanted card taps. And we're also producing more of these cardholders as we speak, which we're expecting to move quickly once they arrive. Our MVP launch consisted of a run of 2 products, both vertical and horizontal cardholders, and they took our audience by storm. Our wallets are making a difference in 3 distinct areas: sustainability through the use of hemp materials, convenience, and the use of shred print. In terms of sustainability, hemp is 100% organic, biodegradable, and sustainable, with a far lower impact than that of cotton. Its production requires 1/3 of the amount of water required, and its yields 220% more fiber in comparison. More so, the crop is not only better for the environment, but it plays a positive role in breaking down soil toxicity levels and improving the levels of carbon dioxide in the air where it grows. Secondly, our cardholders are convenient with a slimline structure to fit into anyone's pocket on a night out, or for a less bulky alternative. They also make a perfect gift for friends and family. Lastly, the incorporation of shred print makes for an appealing cardholder. We're selling unique products that absolutely portray the South African heritage. In terms of our production, we make use of local CMTs in Deep River to produce our products, and we're working towards the development of our own team, which allows us to expand our own product range, improve our turnaround time, and provide us with a better overview of the production process, while training and developing staff from underserved communities. As we all know, there are plenty of lessons to be learned when launching a business and bringing products to market. We've identified a significant gap in the market which we're looking to exploit. Until recently, local legislation did not allow for the growth or processing of the hemp plant, which forced us to rely on imported hemp, drastically pushing our prices up. As a result, we're paying close to 200 Rand for each cardholder, cost price, and considering we're retailing these for 350 Rand, we only achieved a markup on cost of 75%. This also forced us to pay close to 500 Rand per meter of the hemp canvas, and this is a cost which we're looking to drastically reduce in the near future by developing local processing facilities. In terms of the evaluation of the hemp markets, recent studies have valued the global hemp market at $4.7 billion, with further growth projected at 22.5% between 2021 and 2026, ultimately achieving a value of $14.6 billion by 2026. So where are we going? Yalo's vision is to develop hemp products that we can offer to both local and international markets at a fair price. Initially, this involves creating our team of our own CMTs who are able to make our products for us at a quality that we're satisfied with. This will also provide great flexibility in terms of customization and further product development. From there, we're working towards the general development of a hemp processing facility, which provides us with a raw canvas, thus eliminating the need for imported hemp and allowing us to empower local communities and further reduce the cost price.
Mark, sorry to interrupt you there, but it's time and I didn't realize, sorry.
No worries.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Okay, any questions from the judges?
Can you finish your presentation quickly?
Sure.
Is that your last slide?
Yes, this is the last slide.
Okay.
From there, we're looking towards the general development of a hemp processing facility, which provides us with a raw canvas and eliminates the need for imported hemp, allowing us to empower local communities and further reduce the cost price of hemp for our own manufacturing process. That's that.
Okay. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Your product is cool, but it's very easy to copy.
Yes.
So to go to a point where you are going to be setting up hemp factories and all of that kind of thing, I mean, it's a fantastic goal, but have you thought, I mean, you're going to have to really diversify your product range, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's what we're working to do at the current moment.
Okay. So would you say your company is focusing on hemp products, or your company is about selling card holders?
Initially as card holders, however, moving into hemp products in general. So card holders were simply just our MVP to test the hemp market.
Okay, thank you.
So this is a very interesting dilemma, the chicken or the egg, right? Is it the product, or is it the big, bold game of, you know, the hemp production, right?
Yes.
And that's where you are. Precious has got a question.
It's more of a comment. So what I've seen with these sort of niche, very cool products is that it's best to also try partner with some of the big guys very early on. So for instance, I know Woolworths does a lot of these locally produced suppliers that they will partner with and give like a good price for the product. So it's a good way to get your name out, and they let you keep your name, so you don't have to white label it Woolworths, for instance. So you get to keep your name, but also get the brand out there. So I think you should look into something like that because it's still so small. However, what they do require for them to partner with small suppliers like that is local content. So your CMTs have to be local. You have to demonstrate the social impact. So if you have local, I don't know, if, the manufacturers who does that for you. So if you can demonstrate that, I think you should be able to get a leg in and also get that scale and support of your brand going out there. So I just think that's something to consider. I think Mr. Price does it too, but they're very aggressive and they white label everything. I think Woolworths will more likely showcase your brand.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the insight. I'll give that a look.
Can I ask one more question about sales?
Yes.
Tell us how much you've sold.
So we managed to produce 50 for our launch. We've sold 75% of that, as I said, and we've committed another 100, which is part of our next batch for sale. So we've had people putting their names down. We're just waiting for the stock to arrive.
Sorry, 50 wallets. 50.
So 50 that we've received the cash for. We're waiting for the physical wallets to arrive for the next batch of 100, which we then can receive the cash from. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Mike. It was great. Very, very clear. Thank you. Thank you. So that's the last of our pitches, which is always the sad part because that's the fun part, listening to all the completely different ideas. I'm going to open up the breakout rooms again now for the judges to go back into. And while they're doing that, Simon and Mpho will announce the winners of a few other prizes that we've got to give away. Then I've just got a short little chat I want to chat to everyone about. Unfortunately, we won't be able to go through the next 50 that applied. We won't have time for that. But yeah, just for the judges' sake, I think it's really important to mention we had 101 applicants. We had 86 that actually came to pitch or registered to pitch, and unfortunately of that, only 23 were women. And we haven't found any specific line running through them. It's not like we found fintech. It's not like we found agri-tech or anything. It's been incredibly diverse. We've had, I think he's on, I saw him come on earlier, somebody involved in the space environment, which is always very exciting. I believe there's a really strong space environment in the Western Cape, through to somebody who wanted to open up a food truck in Tembisa. So I think, it's just incredibly diverse, terribly interesting. Let me open up the breakout rooms, and you should be getting a notification, judges, to go through. Just take yourself off mute if you haven't got that and let me know. Okay, that looks like they've all gone. Thank you everyone for staying on and listening. Simon, Mpho, if you guys are ready, we can do it now. Otherwise, I'll have a chat now. How do you feel about it? So just to kind of give everyone the overview, we've got 240,000 Rand if you did your maths right in prizes, 2 for ideation at 20,000 each, and 2 for post-ideation at 100,000 each. And then we have an anonymous donor who's given us 10,000 Rand. And Simon, are you ready for that or not yet?
Yeah, I'm ready to give away the 10,000 Rand. I'm just not sure if I want to give it away right now after Bridgit.
Oh, I see. Okay, then you know what? Don't worry about that. Then what I'll do is I'll actually just do my own chat, and then you can either come in at that point or by then the judges will be in. Okay, are you comfortable with that? Yeah. Okay. So so I think I just wanted to just have have the floor for a few minutes to thank everyone for coming in, for applying, for supporting and encouraging student entrepreneurship. Whether you're the student, a supporter, an audience member, or ecosystem builder, we all work together hand in hand. In the past, careers have been defined by others, just in terms of what corporate jobs are available, etc. But more than ever, young people are wanting to define their own careers and their own paths, and I'm sure this rings a bell with a lot of you. Students are the key to the growth and prosperity and social progress in any country, and they promote and drive change with innovation. People come into entrepreneurship, however, for many reasons. They're wanting to give birth to a pet project or passion. They're experiencing a problem, knowing the solutions at hand to solve this problem. Sometimes it's just seeing an opportunity, a gap. For some people, I'm not sure if that's my case, like woman, it might be part of the ecosystem in which he finds himself, in this case, for tertiary education. And other times it's a simple math equation, seeing that jobs are scarce and needing to provide in your own way to provide an income. But whatever the reason, it's fun, hard, and exciting journey, and to be able to stretch your ideas, stretch your thinking and experiences whilst you're still at varsity, I cannot put enough emphasis on that. It can shave so much off your hardship and time in the future. We at Akro, of course, do see the value in providing, inverted commas, self-employment, but we understand that self-employment is not really what changes economies. What changes economies are large-scale businesses who employ lots of people. You can see all the research around the world. In fact, Italy had a bit of a dip because they've had a lot of people go into self-employment, and self-employment is very different from building a business, a big business. Therefore, I really would like to appeal to each of the startups here, each of the entrepreneurs, anyone in this ecosystem, to really take a hard look at your potential in your business and dream and plan towards a large-scale, bold business in your future. The applicants, as I've mentioned just now, have been really interesting, and we can't find any particular thread. And a question I have for you, if not now, then when? So we had quite a few people who had applied and then at the last minute said they weren't quite ready for the presentation. But that's the time to stretch yourself, to really stretch what it is that you're doing. So I would highly recommend, don't be afraid, be bold, think about what it is that, what is it that you're trying to get out of it. As I said right at the start, when the applicants, we all met with the applicants, the most important thing you're going to get out of this is actually your network. That is, the money that you get is really great, but it's not about someone giving you money. It's about you really pushing yourself and finding the network, finding your people to build your business. Time again in Akro, I've seen that people have built their business or startup next to each other. As one grows, the other grows. It says something about Akro that one of our own previous startups has 2 startups in the finals, generating out of their own employees. And that's an incredibly satisfying and gratifying moment for us at Akro. This shows the impact we've got on the entire ecosystem in South Africa's growth. Interestingly enough, some of you may be aware we've been contacted by UCT alumni that are living abroad who have an interest in not only giving back, but potentially assisting these young students and startups, wanting to put money in, perhaps even investing in them. And so I want to say that this little competition that's right at the tip of Africa, in one of the 3 universities based, one of the 3 universities based down in the Western Cape, that there's a true global interest in what you're doing. And anyone who's thinking of applying next year, please remember this. This competition is in its 3rd year. It's a wonderful collaboration of various parties. I mean, obviously, we've had the student societies, we've got the student applicants themselves, we've got the private enterprise like Kwela Ventures, IDF Capital, SAB Foundation, and we've got ecosystem players like the Bertha Institute of Social Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And of course, we could not do it without individuals like Zile Buren, Sheila Yabo. There's been so many of them, but in particular, I'd like to single out Joel van der Schyff, who's just every year comes forward and gives of his time, gives of his expertise, and really has the interest of entrepreneurship and students at heart. Akro's own life began in the halls of UCT with Janine Basel as our co-founder. And it's been a natural fit to have started this competition alongside Bridgit Evans, who at the time was with Investec in 2019. And it's continued to grow. We believe this is a legacy project of Akro. We're proud to be a part of so many of your futures and so many of the futures already in the past. A big, big thank you to my partners in crime who've just gone off video. From Investec, Simon Shelton. He's a doer, someone who quickly understands the task at hand, prompt, always available, an incredibly well-run student society. Hats off to Investec. Then we've got Mpho Magubani from Entrepreneurs Society, also able, willing, definitely studying the right stream management for his future. That's definitely has found his strength very quickly. And Entrepreneurs Society, we're already in the 3 years of seeing it grow from strength to strength, and we wish them much success. We really, any of the students here, if you're going to be on next year at UCT, we suggest that you sign up with these student societies. But yeah, from myself to Simon and Mpho, guys, you've made this an incredibly seamless experience, and I wish you well in the future. We're just going to wait for the judges to come back now. I don't know if Simon or Mpho are ready to come back in and hand out any prizes, but honestly, huge round of applause. I myself will be down in Cape Town the next 2 weeks. Hopefully we can get together with Simon and Kwela presently are, meet each other in person. You know, UCT students have had a pretty rough round of time, what with the fire and, you know, COVID for the last 2 years. And, you know, I think the fact that we didn't think we'd hit the 100 mark. It was a bold dream. We were thinking it'll probably be around 75. So to hit 101 was really gratifying for us. Thank you, Mama Bear. I can't help myself. I'm really super interested in your futures, all of you. Simon, do you want to take over now and do handing out of any prizes? Are you up to that? Or?
There's a lot going on in the office at the moment, so I can't really hear what's going on.
Okay.
So if you give us like 5 minutes to finalize everything, we'll be able to come back to you.
No worries, no worries. Yeah, I understand that. Sorry, we've got a cafe in the outside, and I think there must be stuff going on there. But yeah, I hope this has been a good journey. It's been a little bit disappointing when some people haven't taken up the the opportunities that were presented. Next year we'll offer them earlier on in the year, hopefully when you're not so busy, or maybe even through the term time. Please, we will be sending out a survey to the students who applied. You can be as blunt as you want. We want to make sure that next year is bigger and better. Our dream for this is to have this into other universities, not only in South Africa, but into Africa, so that we get an Akro Cup final going. And yeah, from my own personal plea, which is something that I've already said, please think boldly about your businesses. We're not looking for self-employment and lifestyle. We're not saying that that's not important and that it doesn't have its space, but really what's going to make a change in our own lives and the communities within which we live is big, bold businesses that are employing people. Yeah, I think we're just waiting for the others to come back now. Anybody have anything to say? You're welcome to take this off of mute while we're here. Thanks for your kind words, Toboko. And hopefully you all find yourself part of the Akro ecosystem now. You are on our mailing list, so you'll hear from us. Please remember the middle of every month, I think it's the second or third Friday of every month, we have a Founders Connect session. That's the space to ask questions, to dump all your, when you're feeling like a little, it does happen. And entrepreneurship is not this, believe me, there's a lot of this. And you need to be surrounded by people that support you and put you up. Many of you might have families who don't really want you taking the route of entrepreneurship. They want you to get a good job. And, you know, we're here to say, it's okay, we got your back, keep at it, keep climbing this hill, keep showing up. One thing I've noticed with many of the students who applied is a lack of time management. Really, really important. You guys are trying to fit a lot in. I remember Jason would finish, you know, like an exam at 9 at night, go straight off to the university library. And really, the dedication needs to be there. I'm not trying to whip you to the bone, but I think, you know, just be aware that there is commitments required from you to be successful, time commitment. So, oh, Joel, I see you're on here. Do you want to come off and give 2 minutes of wise advice, or are you busy? Okay, Joel must be busy. I know he's running a business at the same time, as many of us are. Anybody else have anything to say? Please put in the chat or take yourself off mute. Tell us how you found this experience so far. What's it like to present? I know to me this was, for many of you, this was a first time presenting. No one would have thought that. Honestly, there was a lot of professionalism here. Hi, Thomas, nice to see you here. You didn't present, hey, Thomas? It was Jonathan.
I on occasion managed to get a word in edgewise, but I think Jono Hart did a fantastic job of doing the presentation. So I actually really didn't even need to.
Nice, lovely, lovely, wonderful. Sumi, how was your experience with this?
It was interesting. It was nice overall. Yeah, but sometimes I felt like I was losing my train of thought trying to answer the question. Yeah, but I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, there's nothing like you know, putting yourself baptism by fire, right? Just getting in. In fact, I see somebody else who's on. I don't know if he can unmute himself if he can. Mpho Shope. So he's one of the first UCT students that reached out to us. Okay, it looks like we might have the judges coming back in. No, maybe not. But Mpho, if you can talk, we'd love you to unmute yourself and give a little bit about your experience, what it's like to pitch.
Hey Janine, hey Jay.
Hey Mpho.
How you guys doing?
Yeah, good. So nice to see your face here. Well, your name.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess our experience has been pretty cool. So Jason helped us quite a lot in the early days of our startup. I think even was really early for Akro as well at the time. And, you know, to see the work that Janine has done over the years to really grow Akro and the partnerships that they've, you know, put together. It's really exciting to see. And having something like the Lions Lair, you know, really producing so many startups. Like, I was really impressed with some of the startups that I saw today. So yeah, so I just really hope that, you know, you guys can continue this for, you know, this foreseeable future. I think just the UCT ecosystem does need a lot more of these programs, especially bring them so close to, you know, the partners that you've put together for them.
Thanks, Mpho. Thanks for those words. And the timing is perfect. I see the judges are back. So I'm going to hand directly over. I'm not going to waste any time. Straight away to Bridgit Evans from the SAB Foundation, talking on behalf of the social innovation. So over to you.
Thank you. Firstly, I just want to say that it's so much fun being around students and seeing all the amazing ideas that you guys come up with. I think you know, you're young and you see the world so differently, and that's what's so interesting and exciting when you sit in on these things. I think you know, you have a lot more creativity than some of us who've been like doing the same thing for a long time. So it's wonderful to listen to you all, and yeah, and it was really fun, and really was we were impressed by what we saw. You know, I think I don't know if you're aware, but you know, SAB Foundation has a very significant focus on social innovation. We've hosted the Social Innovation Awards for more than 10 years now, and we've had many Innovation Award finalists and winners that have come from UCT. We had, back in 2014, we had something called Vula Health, which came out of UCT, and it was a crazy idea at the time. It reminds me of Mandla Health now, a crazy idea of connecting rural doctors with public sector hospital specialists, diagnosing and treating patients really fast, and totally changing the healthcare system. And we're now 5 years later, and what we've seen there is they're now treating 300,000 patients per annum. And it's the most extraordinary thing. It's totally disrupting the way we do healthcare in South Africa. So we've seen amazing things come out of UCT, and today is no exception. And so I know I'm rambling on. So let me tell you, okay, the 20,000 Rand winner for the 2 startups goes to Kwela Brews. Very exciting, and wishing you lots of luck. And please get in touch with us. So we, obviously we're in the beer industry, and maybe we can help you a little bit. Then the overall winner of 100,000 Rand for the social innovation prize is of 100,000 Rand is Mandla money. And congratulations to you guys. But because I said we're in the field of social innovation, I don't believe in winners and losers when I think that there is important things being pursued that we can help with. So we are going to give 50,000 Rand to Mandla Health, Africanize, and Strapp, because I think there's enough there that I would like to see you all test these ideas further. So please, I'd like to chat to you at some stage. I mean, had a lot of thoughts and ideas while you were talking. So please get in touch with me after this so I can also connect you to some interesting people. And yeah, but the judges were very impressed with all of you. So thank you. Thanks. It was fun.
Wow, Bridgit, thank you so much. Congratulations to all the winners. You've way superseded what we could ever have hoped for. Thank you so, so, so much. And I have no doubt there's going to be things to see in the future, and I will do intros between everybody. Happy to come into any of the meetings if you would like me to kind of, help direct a few things. So happy to do that. But thank you very, very much for your expertise, your energy, your enthusiasm, and your money. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks all.
Thank you. And over to Mr. Anton Baumann. Thank you very much.
Yeah, these were very nice words from Bridgit, and I concur. It was a very exciting afternoon, and honestly, from my side, I haven't seen a single pitch this afternoon where I thought, oh, this is like way off. Each and every single pitch was amazing. There's great innovation. From an Mpho side, and Janine, excuse me, it's me being probably disorganized. I wasn't even aware that there's 2 different streams, the social innovation and the commercial stream. But I found that actually for me, the 2 winners, they are actually a perfect combination of having massive social impact and at the same time, great potential to be a full commercial enterprise. So in the breakout room, I've decided that from an Mpho perspective, I'd like to split our 100,000 Rand prize and give it to 2 companies that I feel very strongly around. A little bit background story. And when I came to South Africa 16 years ago, and I wandered around the mall, and on one of these days, I saw these massive queues outside an ATM. And I thought, what is this? And, my friend at the time said, well, it's payday, and even today, 16 years later, that hasn't really changed. And I think that's a symbol or a sign of actually poor access to financial services. So the 2 companies that were for me the the outstanding winners is Mandla Money and Fleeker Finance. And so I'd like to split the Mpho prize money, 50,000 Rand for either of the two companies. So congratulations to you both. But that's not to say that any of the other companies and entrepreneurs haven't made amazing pitches or amazing solutions to South African problems. So well done. Unfortunately, I'm in another meeting. I'm really a little bit rushed, so please excuse me.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you,
All the
Anton.
best.
Thanks for your input.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks. So well done, everybody. And that means that we've got 20,000 to give for ideation. Kwela, who's got that information? Because I was assuming Anton would have it.
Precious has it.
Precious. Okay,
yes,
awesome.
I'm happy
Thank you.
to announce that one. And I must echo the words of Anton and Bridgit, as well as Jason, that it was really a tough choice. Everyone blew us away. I really thought it was a pitch for, it's as good as some of the pitches that I've seen in my environment. So well done to everyone. And then for the ideation prize, we decided that the award should go to body weight. So congratulations, Brandy.
Brandy Zulu. Woo, woo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And Precious, thank you for being a judge, giving your expertise. It's very clear that your emphasis is on the business model, which I love, because I think that is something that is sorely missed. Obviously, these are not economic students and so forth, so I think that's awesome. Jason, do you have a word for anyone?
Yeah, I just wanted to say congrats to everyone. I mean, like, there was not meant to be this many prizes, and our judges literally couldn't help themselves but like give a whole bunch of people prizes. So honestly, congrats to everyone. All the pitches were amazing. I'd love to chat with a bunch of you going forward and just kind of see where you go and maybe add the odd bit of advice. So, but yeah, just a huge congratulations and well done to everyone. It takes a lot of work to refine your pitches and refine your pitch decks to the extent that you have. So yeah, congrats.
Yeah, and on that note, Precious, obviously on behalf of all of us and the Finalist, big thank you to IDF Capital for sponsoring the pitching, the pitch coaching. Hopefully you saw the value in that. And yeah, thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Awesome. So we've just got, the judges. I know everyone's really busy. You're welcome to go, judges. But if you want to, it's literally going to be 2 more minutes. We've got another 10,000 Rand prize and a few other things to give away. Simon, are you available? You or Mpho?
Yeah. So through my capacity, I organized another 10,000 Rand for the competition, and the anonymous donor gave me jurisdiction to hand it out to who I feel deserves it. So I'm going to be giving it to Distinctly for their, yeah, congrats to you guys for their pitch. Yeah, you guys did really, really well. So congrats for that.
Okay. Congratulations. Thanks, guys.
Super stoked.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Simon.
Congratulations to Distinctly as well. I've also got a few prizes to award to, because throughout the competition, as we said, it was quite competitive, and there were teams that we felt that even though they didn't make it through to the finals, they made quite an impression on the previous set of judges. And I'm sure the current set of judges as well will agree. So we've got 2 programs from Contracts for Biz and 2 from Pocket Advisor to actually give out, and 1 from Mpho. So the 2 Contracts for Biz awards go to Peach Toys and Yalo Hemp. Congratulations to those teams. And then the Pocket Advisor, that's the 10-week program, the 10-week course that I spoke of earlier on, goes to Bodyweight Athleisure and Suave Beauty. And then congratulations to those teams once again. And then the Mpho Foundation program as well. I think it's a 10-week program as well. We decided to give that and award that to Strapp. So very big congratulations to all those teams, and we'll definitely be in contact with you guys to, to award the prizes to you. So congratulations to all the teams once again.
Thank you, everybody. Please tag us on social media, and we'll hopefully see you all on the 15th of October in the Founders Connect. Thank you, everybody. And if the team can stay on. Thank you.
Thanks, Janine.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
We'll be in touch with all the winners tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Wishing you well.
Bye.
Cheers, Zasanele.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Darren. Ooh. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Thomas.
Bye.
Cheers, Chitose. Thank you. Simon, can you stop recording?
Right. Yeah. Are you happy with how it went?
Yeah, I'm super happy. It was great pictures.
Wait, your mom's talking.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry,
Okay,
could you stop recording?
Okay.
Oh,
there we
awesome.
go, Tom. All right. I think that then we'll just contact the teams because we've got their emails, and then social media as well. Yo, the post for social media are going to. Yeah.
I want to find out the final amount that we gave away.
Yes.
Please, I want to find out.
I think it's 400,000 rand.
No way.
I think it's 400,000 rand that we gave away.
Yeah. Janine, that makes our competition.